Hey, we love that umbrella guy. All right. Thank you.
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThATuMBRELLAgUy. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me, or I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me, or I'm a man.
Who's the epic villain you miss the most? It's the umbrella guy listening to them crying as they pull the plug because they're falling apart. Listen to them scream. Gotta laugh if they're stupid on my next live stream. The down he goes, another lawyer falls. Like reverse Pokemon, you gotta wreck them all. They just got nuked, the case turned to ash. And how they blame the plaintiff and beg the court for cash. And all the excuses, how is any of this real? They can sanction them, Your Honor, we cannot pay our bills. And for all those reasons and what you said about jail, I'm gonna change my arguments and blame Mr. Hales. Picture a lawyer so corrupt he lies about proof, about messages, about his own words. He even frames his lawsuits as other people's filings. Why? Because accountability isn't a word in their vocabulary.
Who's the epic villain? Broadcasting coast to coast.
Who's the epic villain you missed the most? It's that young umbrella guy.
What's up, folks? How's it going today? Man, I do not know what's up with internet connections and things, but everything is freaking out today. It took a minute. They changed up the way we get in here, our stream yards. It looks bizarre. I think they're trying to justify charging as much money as they do.
You know what else is weird? You haven't noticed this yet, but in the video clips, you can't move them around anymore. You have to move them each to the top. That's the only place you can move them.
Oh no! That's
yeah,
a pain
so
in
you
the
can't,
butt.
it's a total pain in the butt. You can't just move them around to be in the right order that you want. It's very annoying.
That's great. Yeah, because I'm not out of time. Thank you. You know, there's been so much weird stuff today anyway. I noticed I was showing Megan the fact that the documents, that they put in for they put in for the bankruptcy, you can't redact them because of the way they're set up. They still have it where you can make corrections to them, which is so bizarre. You can actually write in the documents.
Oh God, they're going to start accusing people of putting false stuff in there.
No, they have to. Well, they'll say, "Oh, this isn't real" when it comes up. Maybe that was the plan.
Maybe.
It's so bizarre. Nobody could enter anything into the court. It's already in there. But I'm sure they'll be like, "Oh, that's not what that document really said." They were actually saying yesterday that Jeremy Hales wasn't a creditor, for example, and it's weird because in the bankruptcy papers it says that he's a creditor.
Yeah, so she filed more documents. Is that what I'm to understand?
Oh yeah. There's up to 19 now. Yeah, they filed all their schedules.
Okay, so she listed all her creditors, and Jeremy Hales was one of them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought the ecosystem said he wasn't.
That's what they were telling everybody. He is not one, and yet he is listed as one.
Well, he's obviously a creditor. She owes him $2,000 for the court thing that she, violating. She was ordered to pay his attorney's fees, and that's what she owes. So obviously, she owes him. He's a creditor.
Remember, though, she doesn't own any jewelry or anything. She owns nothing.
That's a very weird thing that she has said that she has no jewelry, because did you guys see this? Let's see. Have you seen
standing inside the truth's butt or whatever?
Have you seen this? Crystal jewelry jar for sale. Sterling and crystals and treasures of vintage jewelry, all wearable, $75. Like, what is this?
Well, and she says they're at her booth. She keeps using that language, her booth, so this whole game of that's not really mine, it's blah, blah, blah. That doesn't work. It doesn't work.
How do you tell the bankruptcy court, I don't have any jewelry? And then you're posting online, here's all my jewelry and treasures, I'm selling it. Like
Your Honor, clearly that's not me. That's Jeremy Hales making it up.
That could be. It could be.
I'm explaining it. That's my explanation for sure. I'm explaining it, Your Honor. You can't send me to the jail.
You know what else I learned today while I was shuffling my daughter to like her third appointment of the week? And going to the Y and working out, I learned that apparently I have found the time somewhere in my day of entertaining 3 children on summer break and feeding, clothing this whole family and taking the dog to the vet and all the things that I have to do. I have somehow found time to pretend to be anonymous people online. Did you hear about this?
Yeah, I saw that. Apparently, you're almost everybody on the quote unquote fan side.
Yeah, apparently that's the rumor going around, that I have time to create anonymous posts. Listen, folks, I have never in my life created an anonymous post. You know why? I have always wanted everyone to know exactly what I think about everything, which is why I do what I do. I will say right now, I have never posted anonymously in that Facebook page. I have put 2 posts up there with my real name. And I've actually never done anonymous posts anywhere online. I don't do that. It's just not something that I've ever done. I always said, though, if I could go back, I would never have used my real name, but it's too late now. So,
I don't post under names people don't know. Obviously, I post anonymously. This isn't my real name. This is my business name. But you know what? I tell you, like, Tad or whatever.
Bad guy, that's you.
I am. Yeah. I don't have a need to hide who I'm posting under. I also don't really not want credit for what I post. If I'm posting, I
want credit for
shit.
it.
Yeah,
right,
I'm talking shit for a purpose.
Well, it's just funny because the people who say these things like Lips or whatever, Lips sits around literally all day and all night into the wee morning hours pretending to be other people. And then she tells you that that's what she's doing.
Yeah.
She's got 20 different sock accounts that she's posting under, sending emails under. I think she's starting to believe that everyone behaves this way. But here's a news flash. I have 3 children who need my attention. It is summertime. They are not in school. I am not online unless I am here broadcasting at 8 p.m. in the evening for 2 hours with Tug. The rest of my day is spent cleaning my house, doing my laundry, shuffling my kids to the water park and the beach and wherever else they need to go. And that's what I'm doing. I'm taking care of my children. And other people who have children should probably take my example.
That would be an interesting idea, wouldn't it?
Yes. To take care of your children.
I spend my
Make
time.
sure they're not running wild around the house, causing messes and doing things that unsupervised. That's probably a good idea. When you have little kids, you need to supervise them.
Yeah, well, I read a weird case about that, but I digress. You know what I mean? I read a case about somebody.
Oh, Lord.
Yep. I'm making sure I'm looking through these documents real fast and making sure like all the important info. I mean, they are, again, all these documents are public. And interestingly, if I were to put up something, they would not go through and redact everything off of it, but I try anyway. I actually do try to redact.
No, not only did they not redact things, but they flat out dox you. They flat out put in, harassing images of your home online and, publish your husband's name who has nothing to do with any of it.
While playing the victim.
They're just assholes. So we're not assholes, though. Sometimes we are assholes, but not in that
I'm
way.
an asshole, but not that way.
Not that way.
Asshole,
For sure. I definitely want you to know that I'm the bitch who's going to put you in jail, though. I want you to know that. I'm not hiding behind any anonymous accounts when that happens. I'm going to be taking all the credit when somebody's get the cuffs put back on.
God, I thought all the schedule documents were fun to see, though. We had those drop. I
haven't even looked at those yet.
Yeah, we have 3. Well, we'll pull up we'll pull all those up today. Like I said, I'm just removing certain items. And remember, I wouldn't even review a bankruptcy. There would be no point in that. But they've said that this is filed to make sure that the other cases they think they're stopping, they're done. But I say that, it's a pause tactic. I think certain ones understand it's a pause tactic. Other ones think somehow in some way this nukes everything. But, I don't know. These people are crazy. But we also had 3 filings that came up for Fed 1.
Wait. You have to read this super chat right now.
Okay, wait, what? That umbrella guy's not your real name? I know. What's up? I know. It's weird, isn't it? Now that my real I know, man. Well, you're in luck. That is my real face. So you're okay.
Next, you'll say you're not using your real face. How dare you?
My real face. Yeah. That is. So I'm not.
Real face.
I'm not going to ruin your day. It's fine. But no, we had 3 documents. I kept thinking there were 2, but there are actually 3 documents. What are the 3 then? There's a motion for judgment, the motion for summary judgment on counterclaim filed by Cook, of course. There's 166. There's a 167, which is summary judgment filed on Preston, and then there's 168. Let's see. Oh, the notice of similar case. So then they have the bankruptcy. That's right. So they have in Fed 1 and in Fed 2, they have a notice that was put up. And weirdly enough, there wasn't a notice given to the court by the defendants. They didn't let the court know that there was a bankruptcy going on. No, Jeremy Hales let the court know.
Strange.
It is. You would think that would be one of their first moves, to inform the court that since that was their go-to. Let's pull that up, actually.
Yeah, I would think that. I would think that they would do that. Strange.
I mean, it is a basic filing, but still, this just tells you they could have filed this. But again, instead, Randy ends up filing it. Let's pull that up here. So again, it's a very basic filing, but it tells you, notice a similar case. So pursuant to local rule 5.6, Mr. Hales, by and through undersigned counsel, wishes to inform the court of a pending bankruptcy case that involves issues of fact or law in common with the issues in this case, and states, by the way, this is fun too. We noticed something in this when we were all looking through it. Even though they didn't turn over all of the phone numbers and more, they don't have any of this information to turn over. Apparently, in the bankruptcy case, they revealed that there are not one, not two, but it looks like 3 wireless carriers.
Well, now that's strange because in discovery, didn't they say she didn't have records?
Don't have anything to turn over. Yep.
Of her phone records, but in the bankruptcy case, she's got 3 different cell phone providers.
Yep.
Is this a joke?
Oh, it's something else. We'll look at that too. I love it.
This is really unbelievable.
Yeah, it's wild to see. It's wild. Like I feel like we're being gamed here, and we are actually. They are playing the game in the court. They've let it be known that this is their strategy. This isn't a bankruptcy proceeding. This is a strategy to hopefully help them out. They think they can write off any decision. All decisions, including cases that apparently haven't been filed.
Good Lord. Yeah, the cases that haven't been filed where she's saying, this is the crazy part, where she's, I don't know, just saying, I've been told I could get a judgment of $20,000. Like, you've been told by who? A disbarred attorney? Was it the disbarred attorney or the permanently retired attorney or the one facing sanctions in Florida court? And
you haven't even filed this stuff,
Yeah, how do you alert the court to court cases you haven't filed? So this is the court cases in your wishes and dreams?
It's so bizarre, man.
Did you notice that who's not on the list
of
the court cases she's dreaming of filing?
Oh yeah. I noticed that you weren't on there. I thought they loved you though. I thought you.
I'm not on the list, which is so strange, because that BBB guy, he's been threatening to sue me, and Fleesa has just been cackling about how I'm going to get served in some big lawsuit. Well, who's going to sue me? If it's not Lynette, who is it? Is Bruce going to sue me by himself?
That would be really bizarre, because he put out, remember that letter, that open letter to DUI?
Remember when he said he wanted to be famous? I gave him that dream. I made that come true for him.
You said you could never hurt his job, though. He said that. You had no ability. He has never had any of his reputation or anything harmed by anybody, nor could they. On top of that, he's continued to write you for how long and say that this is to the journalists on the case. So,
and continue to ask me for coverage. Yep. Continue to say that he wants notoriety from this case. I gave him exactly what he wanted. Notoriety. He got famous because of our involvement in this case. He says he's famous now. He has said that, which is what he wanted. How does he plan to sue me for that?
I don't know. I just noticed that you weren't.
He's going to take Lips's tack. He's going to sue me for making fun of his nose. I bet he thinks that's going to work. And it has been so funny. I saw a clip of Lips arguing with Volmet as he was telling her how stupid it is that she can't sue people for making fun of how she looks. And he's trying to tell her that that's stupid and she can't sue people for that. And she has an absolute shit fit over it. You're wrong. You're wrong. And I know that it's killing him inside to sit there and listen to this. I know this because I know this person. It's killing him inside. This is a guy who you all heard defend the revenge prawn of all things as satire. And he's going to have to sit there and agree with Lips. He can sue me for making a Muppet of her.
Well, not just that. I mean, okay, so everything they do is somehow A-okay. It's good to go. Everything she does, specifically her hodunk bullshit, all of that is somehow satire, but people can't make fun of them. Okay.
Oh, she has called the revenge prawn satire.
Yeah.
I saw that. Can you imagine if somebody did that to her? If somebody made a video like that of her, let's just say somebody made a video like that of her and paint chips or vomit for that matter.
I do not appreciate you putting that mental image in my brain.
Maybe all three of them. How do you think that would come? She would respond to that. She would sue.
You know exactly how you'd respond to that. She'd blow a fucking gasket.
Oh yeah, she would sue.
She would really? She would sue someone? I'm stunned. I, for one, am stunned.
I missed the perfect opportunity to play my funny button. Oh no, it's not working. My Stream Deck's not working.
Oh no, comedic timing bomb. Dun, dun, dun.
Why is the StreamYard working? See, all these stupid updates. I do the stupid updates and then they stop working. Like everything stops working after an update. Brad! I need Brad to come fix my Stream Deck.
Sure.
And now we don't have the Stream Deck for tonight. How terrible.
I'm gonna dance on the grave of your Stream Deck. Macarena. Little arms, Macarena. Getting that dancing on your Stream Deck, Macarena.
This is so uncalled for. Totally uncalled for. It doesn't work. The Stream Deck is completely broken. You have a gun.
Man, I can't believe you sidestepped the profanity that way too.
I need Brad to fix it. Somebody send up the Brad signal. I'll call him tomorrow.
It's so sad, man. Let me mourn me. I think I have a mourning button. Let me pull it up. Let me find it here. I'm dancing on the grave like a bucket. Short arms, Macarena. Oh my God!
I can see how insensitive you are.
I can't believe when AI made that, I was like, make it a little dancing video. It's like that's not what I asked for. You know, that is not what I asked for. But it kind of is. It's something I didn't realize I wanted until I had it.
Until you had it.
Oh, yeah. And then I was like, you know what? I've always needed this in my life. Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
1 second.
The fact that you use it to hurt me is really upsetting.
I know, it's so sad. It really.
You're so aggressive with your little
Macarena. I think I have an apology button. Let me find it. Wait. It is. This is my apology button. Ding, 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 ding.
I'm calling HR. I'm sending an email to HR immediately.
You sucker.
Dear YouTube HR department, my co-host is cyberbullying me.
What a monster. He's a monster. I know. I've heard some things about that no umbrella dude. What a jerk.
You're just horrifically insensitive.
Well, here, this is going to be what YouTube's going to look at. They're going to be like, what did you say? What?
That umbrella guy was mean to you?
Oh my God. How could that happen?
YouTube's biggest villain?
Then I'm going to write back. I'm going to be like, actually. Oh my God. Yes, as someone pointed out, that is not bullying, that is shaming you. There's much difference.
Hey, you know what, chat? I don't need you to chime in here, okay? Stay out of it.
Thank you, chat. Happy birthday, Mr. Chatman. Okay, all right. I gotta read this document before I forget what the fuck I'm doing. I've already been doing God knows. I didn't know what I've been doing. This is as basic as a document can get this started, though. Bankruptcy case has been filed at U.S. Bankruptcy Court, Northern District. Here is the bankruptcy case. Copy is attached. I will not be showing the copy either because I have not redacted that. We looked at some of the basic filings, though, from yesterday. You know, we looked at those on your stream. If people missed that, they should go back. We actually, if you missed last night's stream anyway, you need to go back because there was some crazy stuff we went over.
Yeah, they definitely need to go back.
There was some good stuff in it. But the case, it will be filed on July the 3rd. Or rather, was filed. I said was filed July the 3rd by LMNOP, LMLAP, actually. Lab. Lab. I'm trying to make it make sense. It's LMLAP, actually. Lumlap. Yeah. It's LMNOP. It's a Lumlap. Who is the defendant / counterclaimant in this present civil action? Bankruptcy case filed at Chapter 7. Wherefore, blah, 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 so on. Now, as far as the documentation for that thing is concerned, there's been some really interesting stuff. Let me just make sure. Let me give it one more tour just to make sure there is not an address that is in the first document or something hiding in there, you know. Yeah, actually, there's an account number I need to remove. It doesn't matter. These account numbers are, you know, they're pretty much, they're public. It doesn't matter. But at the same time, I'm trying to be decent about it. If I miss something in here, oh, well, it happens. Just give me 1 second. The whole document is fascinating, too, because, again, at the end, like number 12, for example, the one we're going to pull up here, this one doesn't just list, say, asset or this or that. When she gets to the back end of this document, she starts listing, well, this is something that might happen. I'm going to write off future cases. I'm going to write off these things that may transpire. I've never seen anybody attempt that. That's very bizarre. You know, have you seen people try to write off future?
No, never. I mean, I'm not that familiar with bankruptcy cases. I don't know, but it seems awfully strange to try to write off things that haven't happened.
Yeah. Well, it's like, hey, that Chase bank account that I'm going to open up in 6 months, I'm going to go ahead and write it off today. It's like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense, right? Now, you'll notice redactions. No. What I was talking about here, it's like this. You see Levy County here, you know? I'm going to call that Turtle County, for example. Yeah, I can just write in it.
Turtle Purgatory County.
The Turtle of Doom. Oh my God. I've got the original documents.
You know,
but that's why with the redaction, if you notice this is up here, like you'll see, you know, through these, the reason I didn't redact is because once I move on, some of this stuff will show up. Sometimes you can see it, sometimes you can't. And it shows up. I was showing Megan that earlier. It was like, yeah, I tried redacting. Somebody sent over a redaction too and was like, hey, have you looked at this? And I was like, yeah, I can see through the redactions, by the way.
Yeah, it's not good.
So they were writing some pretty funny things. Oh my God. Oh, by the way, there are 3,100 of you today. Appreciate that. If you would tell people we are live, baby, that would be much appreciated. Also, subscribe. Hit that like button, and if you'd like to go further and make it shower with the breadsticks, I need a breadstick shower picture now. All of a sudden, and be like, they'd actually like look like spears if they started flying out of your shower. Ow, it's so good, and you're not.
I would not want to get hit with like a bunch of breadsticks at once. I feel like that would not feel good.
I don't think that would be fun. Wait, I'm getting this thing on here. Back to what we were doing. Documents. Yeah. So we have Part 1, describing each residence, building, land, other real estate you own or have an interest in. You know, is there property? Now, of course, I redacted the property name, all of that. You know, they manufactured. What is the property? Manufactured or mobile home and land. Okay.
Wait,
Current
she doesn't
value.
have a mobile
I
home.
thought they had their mobile
That's a
home repossessed.
it's a camper. It's not a mobile home.
What's about the repossessed one? I'm still confused.
Well, I don't know. There is a rumor going around that says John's camper is no longer on the property. And I have not seen confirmation of that. So it is possible she was talking about John's camper. Maybe John's camper got repoed. I don't know.
I don't know. To figure that out, somebody might have to look at it. Their house from the left or the right, not the front. Oh my God. Also, here's a fun one. So apparently now most of the money is supposedly gone. So we've gone from the last, say, month and a half. We went from everything's audited. It's fine. All the money's there. Remember, we were told that. Then we were told that part of the money had been utilized, but money's still there. Now we're told almost all of the money's gone. No more money.
And yet, no receipts. Still no receipts. No public transparency. Unfreaking believable.
Well, again, they play the doesn't matter. And the thing is, number one, they keep saying, well, if you're not a donor, does it matter? They ran freaking. Does it matter? Do I have to be involved? Did I have to be a victim of some of the biggest Ponzi schemes out there for it to actually matter?
No,
I mean, does that?
They don't.
Does that
And
work?
they did have a donor who wanted to know. They had more than one donor who wanted to know. Not they.
Yep.
The ones they just blocked. Only me was the only one they listened to some extent because he gave so much money. But there were a lot of donors who, whenever they would ask questions about where did the money go, they would get blocked immediately from the chat.
I just love that. So if I wasn't a victim of Bernie Madoff, it didn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. You know, the guy who exposed that, by the way, was not one of the people. He was a competitor, and they were trying to figure out why the hell they couldn't compete with Madoff. And that it was like, well, you know, he kept pointing out this amazing thing too. And this works with all types of scams. You know how you could tell it's a scam? Because everything always increased. It always went up. You know, everything was great and glorious. And that seems to be the thing here too. Everything's glorious, except when you look at what things are spent on. You know, $6,000 going to a lawyer that's not the lawyer they tell you. Money and supplies just sitting in piles outside. But hey, you know, I guess you got what you paid for, right?
Yeah.
So we have our Turtle of Doom sanctuary core. Obviously, that's mine. It was weird to have this. Like, I'm not used to being able to type into boxes.
Yeah, it's weird.
Megan Fox is evil. That's the evil box.
Oh God!
Look at I didn't say that.
Controls away from him. We're never getting through
this. This is a federal document. How dare you question that, ma'am?
Someone stop him. Take the controls from him.
Well, let's see. I'm on a live stream there, so that would be a timeshare.
Oh my God.
Who has an interest in this timeshare? Everyone. Let me add in other people. The chat.
The chat.
That'd be amazing.
I'm sharing the timeshare with the chat. Chat, you're all financially responsible.
Yes, you all are. Yeah, you all are sound investors in that. Hey, my lawyer's in there. You know, he's in there. Maybe he could give legal advice on that.
Oh, we should put the per se lawyer in the document for sure.
I actually, you know what? For this, I'm going to upgrade him. If he finds fault in this, he's going to become the persecutor. You know. Oh my God.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Oh my God.
Oh, did you know that J-Hip, our new attorney, he's declaring bankruptcy for all of us this weekend?
Yeah, I heard. So Saturday there will be a special announcement, a much special announcement by our per se lawyer.
I told him, though, I'm not sure about this plan because I don't want to have to sell my kayaks. You know, in this document, there's something in here about kayaks. And I'm like, wait, I have kayaks. I don't want to sell my kayaks.
Yeah, when you said that, it sounded like sell my kayak, sell my kayak, you know?
I don't want to sell my kayaks.
Yeah, well, it sounded funny because I had a little cutout for a second. It was like, I don't want to sell my kayak. I was like, what? Sell my kayaks.
Wait,
Okay.
what now?
That's so
What
funny.
about Selma Hayek?
Yeah, I was like, what's sell my kayak? Is she hiding out in your garage? That's weird. Yeah. Oh my Lord! Whatever tugs on I want. So actually, I'm just high on life, baby. I am. For real. Maybe it's the med change. Maybe I'm in a good mood. This is day 3 of it. I'm doing all right, except for that awful ring in my ears has never gone away. But everything else, I'm actually doing much better than I thought. They told me it'd take a week to kick in. I'm like, you know,
Well,
I didn't fall out of my chair yesterday, so
That's good.
yeah, pretty good. All right, so let's see, $25,000.
What?
Wait, the current value of that they own is the current value of the entire property and value of the portion you own because they're a part owner.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
so now this kills me. So the Jeep Gladiator that they have, a 2020 Jeep Gladiator, they were telling me that it costs like $700 a month.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, like I was looking at the breakdown of cost,
Wait a
for
minute,
everything.
How can the current value of the portion she owns be only $900
I have no idea.
when she's been paying on it for a
while.
while,
Yeah.
over a year, 2 years, maybe 3? There's no way that she's only
Says
paid
at least
$900.
one of the debtors and another. So 2 people own it? Is
But wait a minute.
both of
How
those?
can it couldn't be in John's name. She used the child's Social Security back payment to buy it. She
Yeah, I
said
remember
that.
the post about that. So
So it can't be John's. Or
I don't
thank
know.
God
I don't
knows
know.
what-
I don't know
knows
how they
what
filled out
she
the
says.
paperwork.
And who
I'd
knows
actually have to see the paperwork.
and who knows what it is that when she talks, who knows what's true.
Right. That's the kicker there. But Jeep Gladiator 2020 current value 20,000. Let me see something. I'm curious. What is a Jeep Gladiator value?
I think that's the Blue Book value.
I'm making sure. Gladiator 2020 value. I'm curious.
That sounds
Yeah,
about
maybe
right.
yeah, actually, that seems. Well, it depends on. I was going to say that seems low, but then I think, well, it depends on what condition it's in. You know.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
who
think
knows?
that's about right.
Yeah, that might be.
But
about
the
right.
900 doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
That's wild, man. I got an Armada. Now I did not get one new, but I got an Armada because I need a big vehicle. It's hard for me to ride around in a clown car, and I want my kids to be safe. So I got me an older one, and God, comparatively, these things. Oh man, if I can buy one of those tanks versus a Gladiator, I buy one of those tanks in a heartbeat every day.
Right.
Those things are awesome, man. I love that freaking vehicle. I'm not a big vehicle person, but I love that freaking vehicle. Okay, let's see that document. Wait, where'd my 9? Oh yeah, okay, that's her vehicle money. So that one carried down. All right, so we get into personal belongings. All right, this is going to be what she claims here. All right, so household goods and furnishings. This is examples: major appliances, furniture, linens, china, kitchenware. She claims a sewing machine, a gas stove, a refrigerator, and one mattress. That is the
get
only.
out of here. She has several. And I mean several.
Just storage
sheds
rooms full of shit.
On the property that we have seen the insides of because the cops took pictures. There are clothes, dressers, furniture. I've seen tons of furniture in there and stuff. Like, are you kidding me? That cannot be real. One sewing machine, a gas stove, a refrigerator, and a mattress? Come on.
It's wild, isn't it?
That's just not true.
It's just wild. That's all they chose to put in there. They were like, yep, that's it. That's all we have. So with electronics, that's interesting too. Don't they have a laptop? Didn't we hear them talk about that? Does that not count? Yeah, computers. Okay, so we know when they had their hearing, remember they were talking about their laptop. It was sitting there, and they said it wasn't working right, so they couldn't get online or whatever. But we know they have a computer.
Mm-hmm. They must.
They don't put that in. Examples of electronics noted are television, radio. So they don't put any radios. There's no radio whatsoever on the property, which is that's weird and hard to believe in any way. I mean, with all the shit that they have on that property stuck in storage and everything else.
Yeah, there's so much property. There's no way. And what about the freaking free tablet? And the phone and the laptop? And where's that electric scooter?
Does that count as how does that work anyway? I'm curious. The stereo, the stereo here's a good question. Okay, when John Cook is out, I get the game they want to play. Oh, it's actually John's. But you're telling me that the radio, remember they talked about with the Pew Pew incident? Cook was out and
yes.
He was adjusting his sound. He had to protect that. Also, the sound that they blare when Travis is on.
Yes.
So there's no radio though, nothing at all. No speakers, none of that.
Yeah. Where'd that go?
Oh, this is amazing. Yeah, exactly. People are pointing out the fact that we heard them blast that radio. We've heard it many freaking times. Oh man. Audio, video, stereo, digital equipment, computers, printers. So they don't have a printer? Also? They don't have a printer or a scanner?
Yes, she does. Yes, she does.
Yeah, they print out all their...
They got one because they talked about it. I think Lisa's chat raised money for them.
Yeah, they gave...
a printer.
Yes, everybody was bragging about new items and equipment. Plus, all of their documentation that they ever bring to court, you notice it's self-printed.
Yeah.
So
obviously they must.
Oh my God. No music collection, whatever. You're going to tell me that those people, they don't own any music whatsoever. They don't own digital music. They don't own a freaking CD or a tag. Come on, man. Are you kidding me?
I don't believe it.
I don't believe. Again, she's going to claim that all of that somehow cooks, that half of it. That's what we're playing a game on. Mm-hmm. But no electronic devices, including cell phones. So she doesn't own a cell phone.
She has, but she just put in here.
They talk about owning cell phones. Remember, we talked about the destruction of. Oh my God, my brain is hurting. We talked about them destroying all of their proof. And part of that discussion was because of hardware. Everybody getting new hardware. They all talked about it. So now they somehow don't have new cell phones. They don't have cameras, media players, game system, nothing. No DVD player, no VHS, no Blu-ray, no 4K, none of that.
I don't believe it. And also this thing about the memorabilia and the sports stuff and collectibles. What about the flea market?
Yeah, actually no flea market stuff on any of this. So this actually gets real interesting because it goes all the way down to jewelry. So look at this area that's left blank here. So equipment for sports or hobbies. All right. So that's examples. Examples are sports, photographic, exercise, other hobby equipment, bicycles. This might be your electric vehicle, maybe.
Which one?
You're talking about the electric scooter or whatever.
Uh-huh. Where does it?
No, I'm saying this might be where it was supposed to be.
That's where it should be. Yeah.
So bicycles, pool tables, golf clubs, skis, canoes, kayaks, carpentry tools, musical instruments.
See, kayaks. I told you there were kayaks in there.
Well, they claim dehydrator, almond milk maker, and an ice machine.
I
How
don't believe
is an
that.
ice machine
John
a
has no
sports or
tools.
hobby?
John has no tools. That guy was the one
Oh
building
yeah,
all
all
the
those
turtle
freaking
stuff.
tools they got from people, all that. Well, they're not claiming John's stuff. Remember, this is just her.
Oh, just hers. Okay.
Yeah. But still, so she's telling me none of that stuff belongs to her at all. None. There's not a. She doesn't have like a. Oh, let me see.
What happened to that? Remember
How
the
is a
little
sewing
electric scooter
machine?
that she was running around on like the Wicked Witch of the West? Remember?
Is a sewing machine household good and furnishing, or I would think that'd be more hobby-ish.
Yeah, that would be a hobby thing.
But I mean, she has other stuff as well. She's got more stuff that goes with that. Yeah, they firearms. She doesn't own a firearm in any way, shape, or form.
She does. There have been pictures of her with it on her hip. Remember?
So she's trying to say that's his too, I guess.
I don't know.
I don't know, but this is going to be real bizarre. And she has no clothes.
What?
No.
She's got sheds full of clothes.
No clothes. No. She has no clothes. She walks around. Thank God they built that wall. That's all I'm saying.
Thank God for the sheets.
No wonder they had to build that Mad Max wall on top of it. The birds were getting sick. Oh my God.
Oh Lord.
I'm telling you, that is the baddest wall ever. Every time I see a picture of that, some people post, I'm like, man, how is that a wall? Like, if you drive far enough down the road, you can see up the property. Oh my God.
Lord.
It's so dumb. Yeah, LP's claiming all the debt, but not claiming any assets. Yes, despite her previous statement. This is a super chat here. And statements of her co-conspirators. Yes, that is indeed true. Like, despite the fact that they've gone out and they've talked about some of this stuff that they own, despite us seeing some of this jewelry. So the jewelry thing is really interesting. Like you said, you got that picture handy.
Wild.
Still.
Yeah,
That's
because and this isn't the only picture of jewelry, by the way. Do you remember she posted all the jewelry? I remember I was like, are you kidding me? She posted pictures of her jewelry she was going to sell at the flea market, and there were racks and racks and racks of it. Just tons. I mean, it had to have been several $1,000s worth of beads. Yeah,
but now she's claiming that this doesn't. I'm telling you, this is the gaslighting.
No jewelry, but here we go. Here's all the jewelry. She's got crystal jars full of it.
What about all the pin rocks? Where are they at? That would be good. Oh God, I got to include that. Yes, describe. Let's see. Yes, pin rocks. Okay, there, I fixed it.
Oh Lord,
how much are they worth?
Wait. Where did you put it?
I put it under jewelry. Of course, you got to wear that. Priceless.
Shoot, my mouse is stuck and I can't pull down this stupid thing. Now my mouse died.
Oh no! Here, my mouse is dead. Here, let me put this.
There you go. There you go.
See that now? Isn't that better?
I'm having trouble.
You like that?
I'm having lots of trouble. Yes, that's better.
Actually, my input is stuck here.
What the heck is what is happening?
I have no idea. I think there's a problem with
StreamYard. Maybe.
Well, they're changing up too much too fast. Anytime they decide they're going to do a large overlay, you notice anytime they've had a small change, it's caused massive problems. So when they do a massive overhaul, but that's okay. Like I said, here. Oh man, no, the words here. Let's put the price in there. Priceless.
My child scared me. Hold on, I'll be right back.
It will not hold. Oh my God. It won't keep the priceless. It only takes money. Let's see. $1 billion. There we go. That's better. But yeah. I couldn't put priceless.
Just scared the crap out of me.
Do what scared you?
My kid. He was
yeah.
standing right behind me and I didn't hear him and he tapped me on the shoulder and I was like, geez.
I hate it when they do stuff like that.
Oh gosh, because my earphones are all messed up because everything's messed up tonight and I can't hear background noise. So I'm completely deaf. I can only hear you and the stream. I can't hear anything else around me. And he just gave me like a flipping heart attack.
Are they including that giant refrigerator that's outside of their house that they took of Lloyd's, or is
Yeah, is that Lloyd's refrigerator? Good
and why is it
question.
only $350? You know?
I think he said the refrigerator was more than that.
Yeah, it cost a bunch, you know?
She's saying that a sewing machine, a gas stove, a refrigerator, and a mattress are $350
Mattress, have you been
total.
a mattress lately? Holy
Oh my God, a mattress is $1,000.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you know, that's the thing. You know, people like my grandma, she used to hide money, you know, in the bottom of it, like cut a hole. I wouldn't cut a hole in that thing. Not anymore. Things are too damn expensive. I have to find something cheaper to hide my money in.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, it's so weird. My grandma did, man, after my grandma passed, that was one thing. We were looking, you know, through everything to make sure the estate was right. And sure enough, she had money like hidden inside of her mattress. And I was like, man, old people, you know, they're awesome, because she had so many great hiding places I would have never thought of, you know. Back in the day, you didn't have places that would secure your money, you know, they didn't guarantee it. So you had to find your hiding places. And she had some awesome ones. I loved it.
I'm asking Grok to estimate the cost of a used gas stove, a refrigerator, a mattress, and a sewing machine.
$1,400. Yeah, somebody said $1,200 though was the refrigerator, and someone else said 14. So be curious to go back and to look at that, because it was stated somewhere. I do remember, and it was quite high. I thought, man, that's expensive.
So just a used mattress by itself would be anywhere like between $250 and $300.
Yeah, I mean, they're crazy. Now, why is there no, what happened to our service dog?
Oh, yeah. She's got dogs. She has what about Tilly? She's always screaming at Tilly.
How does that work with the, I realize they want to file everything under a 501c3, and I think they were stating they put it under someone else's name now. That's something I saw. Now, I haven't been curious enough to actually give a shit and to really, really examine that, but I would not be surprised by that. But still, the dog at Gorse, she bragged about it. The dog, she bragged about being in possession of the kid, which that would mean it belongs to her, you know?
And didn't she say it was expensive?
Yeah, she said it's a service dog. So, I mean, we're talking about, you know, that would be a few $1,000, you know, the type of dog there. Either it is or it isn't. She was bragging about it being expensive. Yeah.
Weird. No dogs there.
Yeah.
Is she suggesting that she didn't, but maybe the dog is not hers? She's saying the dog is the kid's.
Yeah, well, I mean, even if it's the kid's, that means it's hers, you know, because the kid is a minor.
I have a feeling that she's been putting a bunch of stuff in the kid's name.
Yeah, well, she was talking about, so yesterday, she actually made some statements about putting property in the kid's name, you know, because she's a genius.
Right. She's very, very, very smart.
I was like, you know.
I'm sorry, did that sound sarcastic? I was trying to sound... trying for that to sound authentic.
Oh, yeah, it was very genuine. I could tell. I could tell you were like, no, I mean it. She really is a genius.
No, she's a genius.
She is, man. Hey, she's smart enough. I've rarely, outside of like an insane Hollywood case, I've rarely found anything that would make me pay this much attention to something. So,
true. That's true. She has a knack for keeping our attention anyway. She has a knack for entertainment. She's naturally funny. She doesn't know how funny she is, though.
I know, she's amazing.
It makes her even funnier.
So here's her. I am a very smart business person, she said. Yes, very smart business person. That's amazing. I am.
Wait, I thought she didn't have a business.
Right, indeed. Ria said, I'm at the airport and there's a woman completely passed out on the baggage carousel. She's slowly coming around now.
Oh, no.
That's amazing. You need to take pictures.
You need to take video.
Yeah, I post that online.
Viral.
Yeah. I'm a very smart business person. I will leave my home in a trust for the little one that she does not need to pay taxes on. It will be free and clear to her. I don't think they realize how smart I am. Durr. Durr. What is up with Durr? Why would you add the
That's really
Durr?
Oh, God.
It's killing me there.
Also, why does she write Michelle Preston and then put in parentheses Lynette? I thought she isn't called Lynette.
Why does she keep freaking bringing up cases and stuff under the name she says she's not?
I don't know.
Remember, though, anytime you underestimate, she is a very smart business person. You know, she's all up in your business. That's it.
I guess.
Oh
my God. I had a horrifying experience today, by the way. I forgot to tell the chat. I almost died today, chat. I almost died. You know how I almost died? It would have been the worst way to die ever. I inhaled a bug into my lungs. And I was walking into my house. I had just opened the door and I was talking to my daughter and I went, when I was talking, I was like, and just as I went, a bug flew into my mouth and was sucked into my lungs. And it must have excreted some kind of something at that moment out of fear or whatever. And it tasted so bad. I started retching and coughing and choking. And I couldn't get this thing out of my lungs. And it felt like it was in my nose. And I couldn't get it out. I don't know what the hell it was. But oh my God, I almost died. It was horrible. I coughed and choked for 45 minutes. My kid thought I was dying. It was really funny. But now I'm going to have nightmares because it didn't come out. So is it in my lungs?
No, it's living in your lungs.
Is it in my nose? Where is it? What is it?
It's in your lung.
I don't even know what it is, but it tasted so awful.
It's a tsetse fly.
It was not big enough to be a stink bug. It was.
Oh my God! Was it a lungworm?
Oh God! What is that?
Have you looked those up?
Shut up! I will not look it up. I will not.
I'll pull it up for you.
No, don't. Oh God, I don't want to see it.
Here, I gotta.
It was like a fly or something.
No, just give me a second. It'll take me a minute to find it.
Oh God.
Let me see. Where is it? I'm looking. I'm trying to find it. I've typed it. Let me see. No, maybe I didn't. Let's see.
If this is a real thing,
Oh, it's terrifying.
So, well, don't show me.
Oh God. Okay.
Why do you hate me?
I do. I've got to show you. It's terrifying. Okay. Here, let me.
Oh no.
Yeah, they're terrifying. Here, check this out. Here it is. Brace yourself. You ready?
Yeah.
There it is. Look at that lungworm.
You were drawing that whole time.
Lungworm.
I can tell you're feeling better when you do shit like this.
Oh shit!
He literally just pulled out the paint, folks.
Oh my God! Well, before with the midodrine, even if I got really going, I might get lightheaded, with stuff. Yeah. And this has been, I've been cutting up a lot, and it hasn't been terrible yet. So, and it still hasn't. This hasn't kicked in fully yet. So,
that's good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I can be the asshole I always want. So
damn
amazing.
You and your lungworm.
Thank you, doctor. Oh man, yeah, I got to give a shout out to all the doctors out there. Just give me a second. Yeah, happy birthday, Mr. Doctimus. Oh my God, these shows are already clownful enough.
Oh my God.
Oh man. All right, so any other personal or household items they didn't list, including any health aids. So any health aid, does that mean any kind of medical device though at all? Do you include the medical advices for the kid or anything like that? Again, not trying to be a dick to note that, but isn't that part of your household? Doesn't that have a value?
I would think so.
I mean, you've got any other item? Okay, so outside of, we'll look at outside of a sewing machine.
A sewing machine,
a gas stove, a refrigerator, a mattress, a television, a dehydrator, almond milk maker, an ice machine. She owns nothing else. She doesn't have shoes. She doesn't have pants.
No toys, no kids' toys.
Oh God.
No toys,
How? Not a purse, nothing.
no bikes, nothing, no nothing. This is, come on, we've seen the inside of her house. We could pull up the photos from the cops and point out 8 million more things that she didn't put on here. Yeah, feeding tubes, all the, God, there's so much there. There were lots of bullets. Is there somewhere on here to list ammunition? Because that was all over the place.
Yeah, I would think they go with your firearms, right? Because it's ammunition. Yeah, there it is.
So,
I mean, there's just
that little pink car.
Oh yeah, just anything. I mean, they'd listed again. She listed $700 worth of stuff, and that's it. It belongs to her.
That's crazy.
That's trying to.
Oh yeah, the trading post. She has inventory at the trading post.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Not to mention, she says there's no cash or nothing else either. So when we get down to financial assets, so cash, that would be in a wallet, in the home, safety deposit box, on hand. So she doesn't have any cash whatsoever. So deposits of money. So she had $50. I did remove the account number because it is on there. They have to be on there, but checking or savings, other financial accounts, certificates, deposit, credit union shares, brokerage houses, other blah, blah, blah. She says, well, I got $50 in the bank. So so there's no Cash Apps, there's no PayPals, there's no $56,000 hiding away somewhere. This will be a really interesting hearing we're going to do.
Yeah, where's her PayPal and Cash App? That should be listed.
This is nuts, man. Bonds, mutual funds, publicly traded stocks. So anything like that? Nope, none of that at all. Non-publicly traded stocks or interest. Okay, we'll skip that over. Government, corporate bonds, retirement, pension accounts. We have no, so security deposits or prepayments. Wait. So any prepayments, that would be agreements with landlords, prepaid rent, public utilities, telecommunication companies, or others. So prepayments, that's interesting. Huh. Wonder how far you go forward prepayments. Like how far are you supposed to go forward? I'd have to have that explained to me. Annuities. Interests in educational IRAs. I'm just rolling through everything just to see, trusts, patents, copyright, trademark. Man, I told you, Otter Creek Elvis. Patent. So put that in there. License, franchises.
Yeah, wait, she didn't put her marriage license thing, her
building permits.
How come she didn't put her
Is that
she's a preacher in there?
That's true. That's true. Her trademarks, her trade secrets.
Right.
Proceeds from royalty. I am royalty. She talked about not wanting to be called Schmigel anymore the other day, by the way. She did. She was like, I'm so tired of them comparing me to Schmigel from Lord of the Rings.
Oh, no.
I'm like, nobody's calling you Schmigel. They're calling you Gollum.
Yeah,
sorry.
There's a difference.
Yes. Gollum, he's the one busting out the mouth process. It's not Schmigel. Schmigel was, until he started busting on his family and doing horrible things. Yeah. He was halfway decent. So nobody compared you to them. License, franchises, other general intangibles, building permits, exclusive license, cooperative association holdings. Okay, nothing in there. Taxes, tax refunds owed to you. Family support. other amounts someone owes you. I'm surprised she wasn't like $1 billion, Jeremy Hales. Let's see. I'm gonna write this in. Megan
Jeremy
Fox
Hales owes me a freaking free blue
owes
tablet.
BBB 1 yoga lesson. Yep. There you go. This is, like I said, this is a freaking.
I could never teach him yoga. No. He's far too angry. He's a very angry man. I don't have enough smudge sticks in the world to change his energy.
Don't know though. You don't know, man. His energy might change up. You get him some yoga pants.
Oh God! Can you imagine him in yoga pants? No, God, no.
Megan, these hurt.
These yoga pants are too tight.
I thought these were tight. They're still loose. Oh man! What? Squirrels won't check out my acorns.
Wait a minute. Interest in insurance policies, health, disability? And she said no?
Insurance policies.
So
she has no insurance
Disability
policies?
is an insurance policy. That's what it is. It's government insurance. So when you pay Social Security, you pay into a program that insures you against being disabled, and then you get disability if you get disabled. That is an insurance policy. Why didn't she write her disability payment in there?
I don't know. The way this is, because it's company name, beneficiary, and
what?
Yeah, maybe this is. I don't know how disability works into that.
Because disability is insurance.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, take it out and other people get paid if I don't know. Well,
I mean, everybody pays into it.
Here's where it gets fun though. 33. Look at the amount there. That's where it's gonna get fun. 33. So any interest in property that is due to you from someone who has died. Okay. Claims against third parties, whether or not you have filed a lawsuit or made a demand for payment. Let's look at that. So
I see. Okay, the chat is saying they're saying private insurance, not government insurance. Okay. So
we're going to go.
There are private insurers that you could take out a disability policy, right? Okay, I gotcha.
So we're going to jump down to 33. We're going to jump to the back pages here. We're going to roll down. We'll come back. Excuse me. Sorry, folks. You can see me scroll. But you can see where I'm going here. I'm going to attached. the attached form, question 33 here. So this is the $1 million. So she's claiming that, again, never filed a lawsuit or anything, but she's saying that for Jeremy Hales, they're going to have claims based on defamation, IIED, improvised explosive
intentional
infliction. I know it's like
double.
it's double explosive.
Your Honor, the tanks and AK-47s and IEDs.
Oh my! Claim believed to be worth $1 million.
Claims are believed to be worth $1 million. Who believes this? Who believes that claims? This is why
she's not turned on the ecosystem yet. When she gets mad because she thinks that if she holds on long enough, she's going to get $1 million payday.
She's got to be crazy.
They are going to divvy up $1 million payday.
Michelle,
they have
whatever your name is. Listen to me. You are never getting $1 million payday from this man. You need to walk away. This is not happening. Whoever is telling you that your bullshit claims are going to get you $1 million. I've been following court cases for a long time, civil and criminal. You do not have a claim here. You do not have one. You have nothing, which is why you had to dismiss your thumbnail case. You had nothing there. It's why you had to dismiss your trespassing case. You had nothing there. Stop.
This is so bizarre, though. I mean, she's got a protective order against her. She has violations against her and the person who lives with her. They are so delusional that they think they're somehow going to get those overturned, and somehow they're going to be able to hit this guy with cyber stalking, defamation, and one of the hardest claims, emotional distress. That is one of the hardest.
That one's a really
actually get one. It is. It's almost impossible.
Again, I always bring up Mile Kowalski because this little girl was held for 7 days. Well, more than that, 3 months, but they only got to litigate the 7 days she was held against her will, away from her family, and tortured by the medical profession. Tortured. She has PTSD. It wasn't enough. Her mother unalived. It wasn't enough. She didn't get her intentional infliction of emotional distress claim. There is no way that Lynette Preston, in the same state, by the way, Florida, is going to get.
That's the thing. It's Florida too.
Yeah, that was also Florida. I mean, frankly, I think the IIED claims, I think that the standards are too high, frankly, because if Maya Kowalski can't get that, nobody can. Yeah. No one can. Well, there's no point in having that claim, because if she can't get it, nobody can.
You also realize they realize that Hales has enough money to fight any claim that they bring. And what's she going to do? Is she going to depend on her freebie lawyer and the
Oh yeah, not only fight it, but like, let's say he loses. You think he isn't going to appeal?
Fight it forever.
And then appeal again? Like,
you think these people are going to stay on your side when they have to spend all of that time, all of that effort? Like BBB bailed when he thought he was having trouble with Fed One. He bailed.
Yep.
I didn't send a signal to him. I mean, again, he was like, I can't do this. And he said in there that he went with the, like threats this, but he gave away. It's taking too much of his time and resources. Mm-hmm. And can you imagine what a case here? Again, they have their counterclaims in, their counterclaims, and that's pretty much it. They're going to have a problem with everything else.
You got to pick somebody who's going to actually settle,
not
somebody who's going to fight you forever, because he will. Well, like Jeremy says, it's just money. He'll make more, and he'll make more. He'll be more motivated to make more money just so he can keep you in court forever. Like he'd appeal and appeal and appeal. You'd never get a dime.
These people,
so,
I mean,
why do it?
The shit that they have done and pulled, the shit that she has done and pulled. Again, that the protective order and then violating it repeatedly pretty much puts a nail in the proverbial coffin of any freaking lawsuit that she wants to push like this. Because he can always pull that out and be like, yo, look at this. Yeah. Look at what these people did to my life. Yes, I reported on it, but I reported because I reported it to the police. The police, they did nothing in Florida, but Ohio says, yes, I'm in danger. That protective order, I should be protected. I'm supposed to be protected everywhere. So I firmly believe that I have to record everything, and I need to tell the public in case something happens to me. 100%. I believe the people around me are in danger if I don't do it. I think with everything that we've seen, you take that to a jury and show them some of the stuff that these people have pulled. Oh my God.
So the thing she's always talking about getting that order of protection overturned in Ohio. They missed the deadline to appeal it.
Somehow they're going to.
There is nothing she can do now. There is nothing she can do. I think the only thing she can do is wait until it expires. And if he tries to, re-up it, she can fight that. But I don't think there's anything she can do now.
They live in some fantasy land, man. It's nuts. So on top of that, so the Grangers. So we only have one Granger listed, by the way, which is interesting, Mm-hmm. Right. Do we have the other Granger? No. The other Granger's not here.
What are her claims against Therese Granger exactly? Defamation? What did Therese Granger say about her?
It's so bizarre.
And again, who says that these claims are worth $20,000? The trespassing thing it's not real. The police were there to escort those people on her property. There was nothing she could have done to keep them because she had been renting a space to someone who wanted his property, and he had a right. an absolute right to invite anyone he wanted onto her property, whether she wanted them there or not. There is no trespassing. It is garbage. So no, that one's not going to fly. And defamation? What? What did she say?
If they thought that they had such a strong case, they would not have dismissed the Stark filings. There is no way they would have dismissed it. But they knew they had a garbage case. It was a garbage filing. It is a garbage claim. She doesn't have any case whatsoever with the trespass 5, which is what she's going to try to base all of that on. And with quote unquote defamation, like she talked about, again, anything that she said, we have video with. So, and she's also allowed to talk about how Lynette Preston has been there. She was a public official, and Lynette also ran for public office. In fact, Lynette's conspiracy is that Jeremy Hales somehow had a problem with her, at least part of conspiracy. Sometimes it's conspiracy from the problem started from go. You know, that's one narrative. But another narrative I saw and read was that after the election, that's when they started having problems because she ran against Madam Mayor, you know? So she's worked her into this conspiracy. So, of course, she has the right to talk about that. You, too, are a public official with Otter Creek. Oh, my God. Can't talk about me. Can't talk about me at all. Okay. So, $20,000, she says on that. So, Willis, she thinks she's going to get $50K out of Travis for defamation.
What?
Are you kidding me? Are you going to try again? Travis isn't the only person that saved all of this stuff that you have pointed out. Again, you know, what are you going to say? That you weren't screaming through a fence or having a kid? You think a jury would listen to that and think, oh yeah, that's not awful or weird? You're sitting across the street. Are you telling people, which there are recordings of this being discussed, you telling a little kid that there are monsters that are across the street, that these people over there, you know, they're danger. I mean, this guy is building essentially a fun land and you've turned it into some kind of Freddy Krueger across the street. And yet, I mean, they're saying they're defamed. I would say he is the one that's been defamed in that process. Then Rex West.
Who?
Defamation.
Oh, right.
What how did Rex? What's supposed?
It can't be that bad. She only thinks she's going to get $10,000 out of it.
What did Rex supposedly do first? I'm curious.
Does Lynette think that she's planning on spending the rest of her life in litigation?
Yes. She thinks that these people are her payday. You have one payday that comes along, it's a big one. And these people think that Jeremy Hales is their payday.
How are the people who are funding all of this not realize what the heck is happening here?
I have no idea.
This is a scam. This is somebody who just wants to be in litigation instead of go get a job as a Walmart greeter, like normal people do when they retire. Like,
well, I mean,
some extra cash.
Actually, after all the money and food and everything else that she gets, Lord, I don't think she needs it. You know.
I know, $700. We haven't even got to this yet, but $758 a month she is getting in for food, in just food stamps. Look, and I have no problem with food stamps. I think it's a good idea. I don't think anybody should go hungry, and so I have no problem with that at all. But how on earth? It can't be for 3 people because she is not married to John, and they according to her, they don't live in the same household. So if they don't live in the same household, then that money is just for her and a 5-year-old. $750. I could feed my family of 5 on $758 a month. How is the government giving her these 2 people that much? Something's wrong. Does she still have Landon on there and his girlfriend and maybe other people who lived on her property and like they just haven't caught up to that?
And kids get a bunch of money, but my God, $750 is a lot, you know? Maybe it's the
a
specialty. Maybe
ton.
it's because of dietary and stuff like that for the kid, potentially. You know,
It
I
doesn't
don't
she
know.
just have to limit her protein?
I have no
It's
idea.
not-
I don't know.
that
It's
is
a
a
lot of money.
huge amount of money for 2 people. And not even, it's really 1.5 people because 5-year-olds don't eat that much. Like, what?
It's crazy. I wonder what Rex did though. And Deanna West and George. So wait, George. So George is only worth $20K.
Apparently.
That's interesting. You know what that tells me? That George, they're telling you that George has been telling the truth with timelines, huh? Because otherwise they would have come at George harder.
Probably.
Yeah, for real. They would have put it in with Hales.
Oh,
And,
did we miss the part in this document where it talked about farm animals and she put none?
yeah, it was above the.
Where are the turtles?
Well, that's I think that's the game they're playing when it's in another person's name. I think they said
Because
something about
her sister put her name on the
yeah.
501c3.
I guess that's the thing they're playing.
So Lynette's
It's
just going
someone
to be a
else's.
free employee for all these things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you're here's the thing too. I don't understand, like with disability and all that. How do you manage to run and operate this entire thing? Pretty much independently. I thought John had all these problems. He can't do anything, right? So how are you managing to run this quote unquote turtle rescue with all these animals and other shit? I don't understand that at all. Give me 1 second. Let me go back to the page we were on. Let's see. We're on 33. Yeah, animals was it was right under all the goods. And give me 1 minute. Yeah, they think that putting everything in other people's names is going to work out good. And the government doesn't like doing this. This
The
kinda
chat
stupid.
thinks that we got it wrong as far as what she was saying about the lawsuits. They're saying they think that she's saying what she will owe if the lawsuits go through, but there's no lawsuit
No,
against Travis. Travis did not sue her, and Deanna did not sue her, and Tree Stranger did not sue her. So
this is under your assets. This is all assets. So look, let me
no,
show you.
she's
Okay, so
listing them against
look.
third parties.
Yeah, these are assets. So
these are her lawsuits.
these are your
dreams,
describe your personal and items. Okay, well, we're going through
her dreams and wishes.
Your financial assets. Okay, we're going to roll down through here. Describing our assets. Let's see. That's the way our interest in. So again, these are positives for her. These are net positives. Like your interest in those. Do I have insurance that'll pay out to that? Any interest in property that is due you from somebody who dies? Claims against third parties, not a claim I have against somebody, a claim against a third party. Example, an accident, an employment dispute, an insurance claim, or rights to sue. So this is her.
Yeah, she is saying, I have the right to sue these people, and here's how much I'm going to get $1,100,000.
Yeah, I mean that's what it's noted. Even though, again, like certain things, again, Trespass 5 is in the trash. Where's she getting money? Are they saying they're going to come back after the Grangers again? I mean, that's done. She does realize that, right?
Well, the Grangers are suing her now.
Yeah, they're suing for $50,000 for this garbage lawsuit that she brought. So
yeah, she cost him a bunch of money.
Yeah. So they're suing her.
What is happening with that? Has there been any movement in it?
I haven't seen any movement on it at all.
I
don't know what's going on with that at all. You're reading. How is it reading wrong? Again, I've seen a couple of people like say that this is not wrong. Claims against a third party, not whether or not you have filed a lawsuit. You have filed. You see the wording there. You have filed a lawsuit. Mm-hmm. So that's straight up there. So she said, Let's see. Other
Well,
continued.
I was listening to Georgie and Coop today, and Georgie was saying that she has experience with SNAP benefits, and that at one time she had an adult living with her, who was helping them out, and that person was the state actually let her add that person as a member of the household, and it increased the benefits. So that is a possibility too. Like she had the guy, the Huffer, wasn't he living there for a while? And Landon for sure, and Landon's girlfriend. So it's possible.
So there still may all be on there.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I guess we'll find out. The government may, one of the things you don't want to do either is shine a spotlight on your life. And be like, hey, government, why don't you
come look? Yeah.
There's so many laws out there because they can trip you up. There's always something that you can get in trouble for. So any financial assets you didn't already list. So aside from our 1 million 100,000, what's up, kiddo? Hey.
What's up?
What are you doing? What are you doing?
I'm watching Mom's TV until Mom gets home.
Oh, well, give me a hug.
My eyes are getting tired from watching all those videos.
Your eyes. You don't have to watch TV.
I like watching TV.
I know. Well, you've gotten a little time because you've been good today. You're good.
Can we do fireworks?
Fireworks is not. Today is not a firework day. It's not. Fireworks are for special occasions. She thinks every day is a firework day now. After 4th of July, she thinks every day is a firework day.
I like fireworks.
I know you like them, but did you like the bottle rockets we took out?
Yeah, we have much more.
I know we have much more.
I had to tell Mom we had a box of fireworks because I think we used all of them.
Yeah, well, we have the abandoned box. Here, give me a hug though. I gotta go through
Money.
some more documents. I know, I saw that. That was a $5. Oh, Give me my kiss though. Here, let me kiss.
I want to give you 10 hugs.
3 hugs.
No,
4 hugs. Then give me 1, 2, 3, 4.
no 10. 10.
All right, give my others in. 5, 6, 7, 8.
I didn't even give you long. Let's count.
That was all right. Count them. Count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Good job. Now, all right. Now here.
11 after 10, right?
Huh? What?
11 after
11.
10.
You're right. Yes, 11. Mm-hmm.
What's 11 plus 11?
I don't know. What is it? We talked about it the other day.
1, 1, 1, 1.
Yeah, that's not 11. That is 1, 1, 1, 1. But it's 22. Remember we talked about it.
22.
Yeah, we were looking at math. Yeah.
I want to give you 10 kisses.
You've got to give me 2 kisses. 1, 2.
No, 10.
No. Can you hold the thing for a minute?
Yeah, of course.
They are like, I'm not going to leave the room. I'll be back.
Okay. Chat. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. So SNAP and EBT are the same. I have not had experience with these things, luckily, but those of you who have, I appreciate you telling me how this works. So it looks like one of you went and looked up what the SNAP benefits for an adult and a child in Florida would be, and the maximum is like $535. Some of you are suggesting that maybe she added John's in there, but she wouldn't have done that because she put it on the bankruptcy paperwork about what she gets. Her benefits are $758 a month.
She looked at me. She was like, when she was standing here, I was like, I pointed to the thing. I was like, you got to go. And she pointed at her feet. She was like, she mouthed, it's glued to the floor. Talking about her feet. My feet are glued to the floor. I was like,
Yeah, sure.
What a nut. Oh, what a nut. She's so funny. So let's see. Anything else that we've left out of here? Describe any business-related property you own or have an interest in. So she says, no business-related property. How does the turtle rescue work into the business-related property, by the way?
I have no idea.
If it's not your turtle rescue, but it's slapped on. I don't even understand how that, you know. Also, if they were going to try to, never mind. I ain't going to say that. I'm surprised they don't list anything with the business. Do you own any legal, equitable interest, farm or commercial fishing related property? Well, not really, but what a mess there. Crops. Farm and fishing equipment, farm fishing supplies, farm commercial fishing. Describe all property that you have an interest in. They did not list above. Okay, so here's everything. Again, you notice she's like, oh yeah, here's my part of the home, $25K. Here's my vehicle, $900. Here's all of my household items, $700. Here's my total assets, $1.1 million.
Oh my God.
Fucking delusional, all of it, man.
It's so delusional.
Okay, that's document 12. Oh my God, man. That whole thing is just freaking delusional. Now, let's see. I'm going to pull each one of them. Give me 1 second. I'm just making sure there's not a bank account or something that I didn't miss hiding in this, Now, these are, I'm just going to show each document that way we don't miss anything. There's a couple that have nothing on them. So if I don't pull it up, if we skip a number, that's why I didn't have anything. Let's see, 13. So this was the property you claim is exempt, So the things that you're claiming state and federal non-bankruptcy regulations for any exemption. So again, their property, their household goods, they're $900 in what they say that they own with the Jeep, which again is odd. If they've had it that long, why do you only own
really, really odd? But
Yeah.
she is saying she only owns 50% of it. But if she owns 50% of it, shouldn't she be paying 50% of the payment? That's got to be more than 900.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think they would have longer than that. So their electronics exemption is $150. What did they claim for electronics?
I thought she said she had none.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. What's the electronics exemption? Let me go back and check real quick. I accidentally closed the document, so I opened it back up. I'm rolling back to the top, I kept thinking before that they didn't have the TV. That's what she's talking about, TV. So that's the TV. $150. That's what she
I
claimed.
can't imagine getting into my 60s and having one bank account with $50 in it. That's a really scary prospect. Very scary.
A lot of people live, unfortunately, like that. I mean, that happened. The thing is,
I know it happens, but I just can't imagine how scary that must be. That's
I can't imagine hitting this
terrifying.
financial windfall that they have and not just saying, okay, this is good enough. Maybe I can stop it. Maybe I can take the 56K and go home. But of course, they know if it ends, then it ends. The Jeremy payday one day will end. I think it's been slowing down for them anyway because they are not getting what they need.
I can't imagine that those people, the donors, are real happy about getting lied to about where the money is going and for what. $6,000 was supposed to go for an attorney to help her in the federal case. And then it turns out it's this bankruptcy thing, and she still doesn't have a lawyer for federal court. I don't know why anybody would want to keep giving money to this because they're not honest about where it goes.
They have some account numbers. Actually, I see here. I'm deleting a couple. I'm not, like I said, particularly worried about getting a whole account, but I'm going to.
Rhea Norman says, my husband took my credit card away. I just kept spending it. I know, right? If I didn't believe me, I would be one of those people with only $50 in my checking account if my husband hadn't taken away all my cards and stuff years ago and said, you get cash. Here's your cash allowance. Don't spend any more than this. That works out really good for me. I really like that. I did that for years before he gave me back a bank card. And now I still ask him, like, well, how much do I have to spend? But like that worked really well for me. Some people need to just be handed cash and be told, "Yeah, when this is gone, it's gone. Don't ask me for more till next month."
Look at that little Lawanda. So Lawanda knows here. This is what so many people run into. So she lives in Oklahoma on SSD. I turned 65 this month. I'll go to straight SSI. But every time I ask for SNAP, they tell me I don't qualify to get it.
I hate that. See, this does not make sense to me. So SNAP benefits are great for people who need them. People who need them should get them. And it always seems like the people who are abusing the system get all the benefits, and people who truly need them. You know, I got an email from one of you the other day telling me that you had just gotten on disability and it had taken several years, finally got it.
Yeah.
And I mean, it just shouldn't be this much of a fight. It feels like the people who truly need it they just get railroaded. And then we have people who just abuse the system, and it's not okay.
Well, one of the problems you have is that it's like the government is willing to admit that a certain element out there will never work or ever contribute at all, right? People that have been in trouble are always having problems like that. So they're just like, you're going to pay for them forever. And they make it easy for that element. But people that have tried, worked hard, stuff, they get the finger.
I remember my father-in-law had to fight for disability, and he had debilitating headaches after an accident where he couldn't drive and he couldn't work. He could barely get out of bed. And we had to fight and fight and fight for that disability. It took years. It's crazy. I mean, it's just stupid. And when I see and I'm not suggesting that Lynette doesn't have a disability, but I would be hard pressed to look at her and find what's up with you. Like, I don't know, what's this disability? She says she has neck or disc problems. Okay, maybe. But I mean, she's definitely not in bed all the time. You know, she's not bedridden. My father-in-law was bedridden and he couldn't get it.
They have decided to take their free time, which apparently they have quite a bit of, and they have declared financial war on a group of people out there. And they've decided to full-fledged wreck their lives. And that, to me, that is so messed up, you know, and they're using every benefit. Like, again, we had a judge that was like, I know you've been fucking up people's lives, but here you go. Maybe we can make it easier for you. Maybe we can get you a free lawyer. You know, it's so bizarre.
It is. And lots of people, I see some of you in the chat, some of you are saying, I used up all of my savings trying to get it, and it was terrifying. You know, it took so long, and I'm watching my money dwindle away. That is terrifying. That this is a thing that should never happen. But it does. And it seems like I always hear these stories of good people who deserve these benefits. They cannot get them. And then we have other people who are just gaming the system, getting more benefits than they even should have. I'm looking at, somebody sent me the Florida Policy Institute's calendar. You can plug in your stats, right? And it tells you what you qualify for. I plugged in what Lynette says she makes, and it says that she would be qualified for up to $536 per month in SNAP benefits. So how is she getting $758?
What are these dates here? Like, date that was incurred is 10/02/202. There's no year. I didn't erase the year. Like I did this to the accounts, but the year is just, they cut off, because I was going to look and see how long they had the Gladiator.
It could say anything. It could say 2020, 2021.
Yeah. I mean, they're just they didn't fill them in.
Real property. Very frustrating.
Awnings?
What?
The structure on real property awnings. They took
awnings are a structure.
What?
Okay, I guess
they took money out for awnings.
What? $9,000 for awnings? Really? Oh, the awning on John's camper?
Yeah, that's what I'm like. Is that what we're talking about?
Thing really $9,000?
No way, man.
Uh-uh.
No way.
It could be $9,000, could it?
No, I'm not. Okay, so that is, what number was that? It was 14. Again, I'm just going through documentation and making sure to be thorough here. No, there is not anything. Let me see. Oh, yeah, there is. Okay. There's a couple of, oh, yeah, I gotta delete an account here because this actually has an account number.
Yeah, Gail, I see that. That's very scary to me. And I hate the way that feels with, I've been there where, you have zero left in the checking account.
Oh, yeah,
at the time, but, until payday, and, it's a terrifying thing. It's terrifying. I read this article not too long ago that said 75% of Americans could not come up with $1,000 in an emergency. That was for sure. I've been there for sure in a part of my life where, yeah, we wouldn't have been able to do that either in an emergency. Luckily, that's not where I'm at now because
the way I managed
that's a terrible way to live. It's hard.
The only way I feel like I got fortunate in life. I was doing my regular job. I did that for freaking well over a decade there, with that one, specific one. And on top of that, I did YouTube and comic books and everything else. So at one time I was doing 3 jobs, and, there's no guarantee that any of it will work, but I did that for years. Finally, YouTube worked. And it's scary. It's been scared with medical problems. Like I said, that brain fog thing really scared me. It's like, man, everything I do is contingent on me being able to remember shit. So that's not good.
And you have little kids. You've got little kids still, little ones. My I got terrified by the hospital bills we got for my daughter when she was hospitalized. And my God. It's like, and I've got insurance, but it doesn't even matter. Like, insurance pays for some of it, but you still have to pay. They want me to pay the entire amount at once. I keep ignoring them, and they're probably going to get pissed.
Well, that's what I did with certain ones, because I went down and I talked to them, and I told them,
I can't pay that huge hospital bill.
I was just like, I wouldn't even lie. I was like, look, you guys did nothing for me. You guys gave up on me. And you want how much money out of me? It was like the only way I got it. I had to go to 3 specialists. Finally, I get somebody that tells me the right thing. Some of your doctors tell me the wrong thing. And if I would have quit with that, I would, God knows where I would be. So,
Yep.
I'm like, I unfortunately, you do end up paying for it. Now, this right here, this is going to be our creditors. Now, this is where we get some interesting stuff. All right. I don't know where we get into some good. Now, again, you'll notice go to part 2. So we're going to skip part 1. This is the unsecured claims. Okay. So nothing listed in unsecured. So skipping down to part 2. Now, unsecured, again, I'm removing account numbers, but they had a Chase card, I guess, for $2,392. I'm going to guess that's probably what that was. A Surge card for $500. Yeah, credit cards. There they are. 2 credit cards. So they have Cricket. Okay, so they have Cricket, a wireless plan. Now remember this, because they didn't come off of any wireless information, and yet out of this stuff, you're going to notice when it's written in, we're going to have 3 different wireless providers that pop up. All right. So we have Cricket. Cricket popped up in 2024. Again, this kind of stuff, they're giving away the game a little bit more than they probably thought they would, because they have to list some of this stuff, otherwise, you're number one, you can't write it off, but number 2, you're supposed to list everything. So let's see. Now, when we start getting into the other names, your non-priority unsecured claims. So here we have, again, where people were talking about lawsuit. These are the the creditors. The other thing was assets. You see the difference? Like, I think people were getting confused on that first thing. She was saying, I'm going to get a payday, possibly from all of this, $1.1 million. These are my creditors. Now, remember, they were telling us in the ecosystem that Jeremy Hale's, none of these people are creditors. You know, there's none of that. And yet, they're here on our documents. So we have, Yana? Yeah, it's so weird, isn't it? And George, we have them as debtor one only. Huh. So what about, oh yeah, there's no other debtor, my bad. They don't list anybody else. I was like, there could be some other people. So disputed, liquidated, type, lawsuit. Okay. Jeremy Hales. I thought they said that Jeremy Hales wasn't when, by the way, they do have, do they not? They list John Cook too, funny enough. We'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah, but Jeremy Hales. So they list him with lawsuit as well. Now, some of that money has already been decided. They've already been hit for protective order violations. So, you know, I don't know how some of that lists in. So John Cook, how disputed? The claim is disputed against John Cook as a domestic. What?
Huh?
What does that mean? Does that mean we're seeing some problems there?
I don't get it.
Well, I mean, it's checked as dispute, you know, just as they're disputing these as lawsuits.
That's
but then
strange.
John Cook pops up and it says that.
Is she going to pull this thing with the bankruptcy court where she tells them that he's abusive and she can't get away from him, etc.?
I have no idea, but is she saying that she owes him money? She doesn't list an amount of money. She doesn't list anything as far as that. It just randomly, it says domestic partner here with a disputed bill. What does that mean, folks?
I do not know what that means.
Does anybody else, do they see something? Because again, you know, this looks, I would think, okay, loan, you know, because you have obligations arising out of a separation agreement or divorce you did not report as a priority claim. Okay, well, it's not a separation agreement, right? So what is it? Well, what does this mean? Because it's a debtor. I don't understand. See, since the $65,000 that yeah, for him to leave.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny.
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't get it though. That is very strange.
Or maybe, like the chat says, Whimsical Chaos says, maybe it's to buy him out of the property.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Part 2, $31,000 on. Okay, here we go. So we have, again, here's the camper, right? Oh, is this the? No, that can't be part of it.
If that camper, by the way, is not on the property anymore, where are they sleeping?
I don't know. I don't even understand the camper thing. It is.
Are they sleeping in sheds in the summer heat of Florida? Like what? How is this allowed?
So they got a camper because it's debtor and John Cook. So it's her and John Cook for a claim amount of $26,442 for a camper. I mean, again, I keep being thrown off on that camper thing. Ugh. They had a PayPal credit card. They should have somebody examine all the PayPal accounts or anything else that has ever taken in money. I noticed no Cash App or anything else that's noted there, you know.
I'm trying to figure out how bankruptcy is going to help them at all. I know that they think that it's going to stop the lawsuits, and that's probably not going to happen. But the other, like, bankruptcy, going through this is really, it seems very intensive, and you're going to lose all the things you did have. So if you were struggling,
You
declaring
can't file
bankruptcy,
again. So
yeah, declaring bankruptcy is maybe not the best thing to do because you're going to lose what little thing you had. They're going to sell it all. You know, an investigator is going to come to your property and they're going to look through all the sheds and they're going to take a real inventory of everything that's there. And in order to pay your creditors, they're going to sell it. I don't understand this. I don't know how this is going to
okay,
help
well,
them.
here's a fun one. So I was looking up bankruptcy and willful and malicious injury exemptions. Now, of course, or exceptions. Now, of course, I'm not going to talk about blah, 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 but added on to there, I was looking up violation of protective order in bankruptcy. You know, the idea of violating a protective order, is that considered willful and malicious? Because obviously it would be, right? So looking that up. So a judge can hold someone in civil contempt or, of course, violating protective orders, right? When that comes up, that would be non-dischargeable. Okay, so obviously that by itself is a problem. Now, when you continue with all the stuff they've done, we have a protective order already firmly in place. And this is a claim that this stuff has continued and they've tried to wreck Jeremy Hale's life. Now, how do they think, if you lose these cases, how do you think that that's not going to be considered willful and malicious? You cannot discharge something that you're doing like that. Oh my God. I mean, we're not talking about like debt that you got because, hey, I opened up a credit card and I screwed up, whoopsie. Or, you know, even I had an accident. I backed my car into another car or something.
Or medical bills that you can't
Yeah.
pay. Like, no,
We're talking about somebody going out and willfully trying
and the
to raise
law
money.
already says you can't be forgiven of those debts by doing bankruptcy. The best thing they could get out of this is a few week delay. That's it. They will not disperse debts owed or a lawsuit about malicious fraudulent actions. They will not. That's against the law. So I don't know how this is going to help them. I really don't. I feel like this is going to make their life more chaotic.
I don't understand. I still cannot get how you think that you're going to take cases that have never even happened and you're going to claim, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't. Do we have any bankruptcy specialists in the chat? I bet we probably do. If you're the person filling out these or helping her fill out the documents or whatever, are you going to allow someone to list wishes and dreams that they hope to file against someone?
That's what I would argue. I would be like, look, you know, do I get to just randomly say, you know, in the future, I'm going to get this. And, you know, do I get to say, hey, you know, the next time I appear, when I win on The Price is Right.
Yeah, right. I may get on Wheel of Fortune.
Oh man, I'm so confused by all of that.
Well, you know, the chat has just made a good point. Maybe she's trying to confuse the courts. I mean, that is what their strategy in Fed 1 and Fed 2 is, obviously, is to file so much crap.
Unfortunately for them, though, unfortunately, they have a creditor in there that knows what's going on and can bring stuff up. Hey, what about, you know, $56,000. These people have raised money that definitely it could be in the excess of $100,000. We don't know, but all they have to show for it. They also didn't claim. You notice they didn't claim the lumber. That's not attached to a house.
Oh yeah. We forgot to bring that up. The lumber.
So any of the equipment, period, or you know, toilets, any of this stuff that they've said. What's up with that? Not only that, but I'm still trying to understand. Now, again, they're saying that most of the money that they picked up is exhausted. Where did it go? They picked up some lumber?
Where did it go?
They picked up some toilets?
One toilet. I don't.
You know, I mean, $56,000 fucking dollars, man. That's not a drop in the
And
bucket, and that
meanwhile,
doesn't
the
include. That's
lumber
one
is
person.
it's sitting outside in the weather.
Yeah, yeah. That I mean, God,
It's gonna be all
weathering it.
warped and stuff, wet.
But I mean, that's one person. Again, we have no idea how much money they picked up. But I would say it was probably quite a bit of money that was donated. That is a problem. That's another reason that having a total is important. Having this is what it takes to finish, we want X amount of money to finish Y. We need $50,000. Otherwise, it becomes, well, yeah, we had 50. Actually, we need 7. Well, no, we need 80. It just keeps going. So, and they're gaming. And I think, again, I think some people have kind of gotten wise to that. But this is so bizarre. I do wonder about the camper. I'm very curious about the camper thing. What's going on.
I wonder how her bankruptcy attorney's hearing went today.
I don't know. That's a good question too. We'll have to.
Because he had to go sit in front of the bar.
Yeah, to find out if his electronic. Well, they won't have a decision today, I'm sure. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they would.
I mean, maybe. Maybe. With the bar, though, I don't have any faith in them either to do anything.
That's true.
So then we have our PayPal credit, like we said. All right. After that, we have Randy Shockett, name of creditor. Disputed attorney fee claims. Attorney 2. Actually, okay, that's interesting. So we just have him. Is he only listed as attorney to them? He's not for Jeremy Hales?
What?
They only listed him as the attorney to the Grangers. Right there. I'll roll down and see if he pops up again, but you would think you'd put everything under that box.
You would think.
Mm-hmm. Are they not going to list Ohio here? Let's find out. There is no, I don't know if the Ohio lawyers are listed or if they list something with Ohio. We'll see. So, name of creditor, Rex West. So, with Rex, a possible lawsuit claim. So, this is a lawsuit that doesn't even exist to be brought against her from Rex West. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? Maybe he'll sue me.
It's very strange.
Yeah, because this one's an existing lawsuit, or a person that's involved. Okay.
This feels like the same list that she made before.
Yeah, I'm going to come after them. They're going to.
What?
Sally Beauty. Okay, let's skip Sally Beauty. Shane Willis. So we have him as potentially. Now, we didn't even get a type of claim either. They didn't even fill that in. You talk about, again, I don't know this lawyer from anyone, but I've looked through some of the reviews, and I'm going to say mixed would be a very nice way of putting it. Pretty nice one. I found some really bad ones, for the group there. And I'm going to say that when we have things like, again, Willis here, the type of claim, it doesn't even note that this is potential lawsuit or anything else. There's nothing there.
I just found something.
1 second. What's that?
I just found another disciplinary action against Ramalama Ding Dong, where he was ordered to pay attorney's fees for not knowing the rules of the appellate court and for filing frivolous things.
Oh my God.
This was in 2024. And check this out. This is my favorite part of this entire thing.
Oh, you'll have to pull that tomorrow too, for sure, to look over.
I will, but listen to this. This is so funny. Despite counsel's statements at the hearing that he has reviewed the Florida rules of appellate procedure and participated in more than 10 but fewer than 20 appeals, counsel's answers to this court's questions consistently revealed an unfamiliarity with the rules of procedure and appellate practice in general.
That's wild.
Attorney Ramsaran demonstrated a lack of knowledge of the briefing requirements, the record on appeal, and the burden his client faced as the appellant. The court finds this particularly concerning, given the fact that Attorney Ramsaran appears regularly to practice before Florida's District Court of Appeals.
Oh my God. We have to read that tomorrow. You say that, sucker, because we need that.
I will. The appeal was frivolous. This is an order from the Supreme Court.
Oh my God. B. Bear and M. Bear noted as someone who's declared bankruptcy, or bankruptcy lawyer is paying absolutely no attention to paperwork. Paperwork is being done without oversight. It feels like it.
That's how it feels.
It does. It feels like it's phoned in for sure. So we have the Grangers. Now, you notice this is where we get interesting below this, though. All right. So we have the Grangers again for disputed, unliquidated lawsuit. Then we have T-Mobile. So T-Mobile, January 2024. So here's another mobile provider. That makes two. All right. We had Cricket. Now we have T-Mobile. None of them were turned over, though. So they're telling on themselves. Yeah, they're absolutely telling on themselves, even though they didn't bring this stuff up in discovery. They refused to disclose. They said that there was nothing to disclose. We have two now. Oh, wait, here's another one. Verizon. So they have Verizon there also. So they have Verizon, T-Mobile, and Cricket. And
they didn't even turn over. Yeah, the chat's pointing out they didn't even turn over their phone numbers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They turned over nothing. Like absolutely nothing. But they're telling Randy right here. He has access to this, and Jeremy has access to quite a bit. This is the kind of thing that you talk about a fucking blunder.
Well, this should get them in trouble with Judge Blytho, but unfortunately, that guy, I have nothing but contempt for him.
I mean, I seriously, dude. What does it take? I mean, again, they just flagrantly ignored your orders.
He is sleeping on the job, that guy.
That's so bizarre, man. So we have three there. Okay, I see. And that is what is noted here. I was making sure. But there's three. Like that's an absolute disaster. They also, interestingly, didn't include people like, you know who has a claim against you? DUI guy. Huh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
right.
He certainly does.
Right.
Yeah, whoopee. Whoops. You know who also has a claim in there that you didn't list? Randy Shunkett. You know, that's ongoing. Remember the thumbnail litigation sanctions?
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, both of those, I really wonder what LP, like what these people have told her. And, you know, she'll grasp onto anything that I think she thinks is in her favor. But I wonder what they've told her that she can get away with. Because this stuff, man, when I look at the disclosure or lack thereof, it blows my mind. So the next document, it had nothing on it, but I'm going to read the title here. You know, so this is executory contracts or unexpired leases. So that would be document 16. All right. Now that had nothing listed on it. So I'm going to skip it, but I do want to know what I'm skipping. All right. I don't think there's anything that we would have to bring up in there. Give me one second. Let me make sure there is no account. You know, when I looked through this stuff, I didn't hit account numbers. I wasn't thinking about, I thought about it when we went live. I thought bank accounts, they might have account numbers on here. So I better go back and make sure. It'll have the last four. It doesn't have the whole thing, but still, I thought it'd be good to scramble that up, you know. So your co-debtors. Do you have any co-debtors? Yes. If you have co-debtors, why don't they file? How does that work? Co-debtors are people.
How does that work?
Liable. if people are married, both are equally responsible. I mean, how long have they been together? Are they common law married? How does that work?
Ooh, I just found out when we're going to find out what they did to Ramsaran.
Oh, really? When?
August 1st.
This should never end.
Because
It's so
on the
crazy.
Florida bar, so the Florida bar has a newsletter, and every month on the 1st or 2nd, they publish the disciplinary actions of the last month.
Do you think this guy's been worth $6,000 so far?
Oh my God, no.
6,000
But I mean,
pesos. I mean, come on.
maybe he's worth $6,000 because they have found a guy who clearly has a bunch of problems with the bar.
He's
Who
willing
does
to do
not
whatever.
he does not have a high standard of ethics, and he's willing to do any of the crap Bruce wants him to do.
Maybe. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? It looks very strange, though. It does. Especially, I mean, God, they're happy to take your money, too. You know, people are more than happy to take your money. Lawyers are. But, holy God. So the co-debtor that is listed, do not include spouse as a co-debtor if your spouse is filing. So they are not filing, or they're, you know, whatever. Not spouse as they list them, but whatever. But John Cook is the co-debtor listed in owing. And I think that's the only.
Holy crap. The Florida Supreme Court in recent court orders disciplined just last month 18 attorneys, disbarring 3, revoking the license of 1, suspending 11, and reprimanding 3.
Yeah,
they disbarred 3 attorneys last month.
Yeah, too bad they don't handle, like, even after. The problem is that disbarment, as we've learned, means a whole lot of nothing.
Nothing, because they can just go to another state.
Yeah. And on top of that, they start filing shit pro se. You
know what? I think a disbarred attorney should not be allowed to file.
No, they shouldn't be able to go out and file freaking malicious lawsuits. Bullshit. Now,
the problem is that you have a constitutional right to defend yourself, and so how do you take it away for disbarred attorneys? Although,
defending yourself.
We see what they do with it.
Well, you know how they do that is there are laws now against vexatious litigants. So,
right.
I think, like I said, I think a certain somebody may well screw it up with their.
Oh yeah, I think we're going to see some vexatious litigants declared in this case.
Oh yeah. So here is 18. Your income. Your income. Cool. Let me make sure. Does
it say? Let me guess. 0.
There's a lot of zeros. Actually, we have the Social Security and everything. I just want to make sure there's nothing that would look weird there. Yeah, there's nothing. All right. I'm just looking for account numbers. That makes me paranoid. I usually don't.
And by the way, these are public documents. These are on the public dockets. There's nothing confidential on these about any of this.
No, and they made it. They talked about it. I mean, over and over, they raised money for this, and they talked about this being strategy to crush a lawsuit. So it 100%. It's not a bankruptcy. If this was just somebody having financial hardship, now I wouldn't give a shit. I don't care. But this is somebody that, in my opinion, has made somebody's life hell, an absolute hell. And tried to destroy their business. They've brigaded by bringing on some of the questionable's a nice word with some of these folks. So income, debtor 1, not employed, no employer. So no money involved there for debtor 1. Not. Then we get to Social Security. We have $987. Then we have, just for her, this would be her government assistance that you regularly receive. That would be for her. That would be $358 in food stamps. So her food stamps would be $358. You know. Okay, that would mean that monthly for herself, she gets $1,345. And that's what she notes with. And then, so include okay, so including contributions from unmarried partner, members of household. So any household people, this is how they came up with the extra food stamp money. So actually, it's plus 400. So they're noting $758 for a household with food between the three parties, I guess.
But wait, this includes John?
Yeah, because she gets three. I'm guessing, like it says unmarried
wait,
partner.
why is she including John when he's not filing the bankruptcy? Why is that included?
I think it just goes with any regular contributions for expenses. It doesn't matter if you have.
Wow, that is a lot of money for three people for food. They should be living high on that.
Well, it's interesting though. So if she gets $358 for herself, you would think the kid would get close to that,
or less.
I would think they get
400.
Yeah, so 400 between the other two, and she gets 358.
Between the two.
Yeah, well, I mean, that seems, if she's getting 358 herself, and then you have John and her together only making 400, that seems low. I don't know.
Isn't she also getting SSI for the kid? Did she list that?
I don't see any other. It doesn't note any other. So it states regular contributions to expenses. So wouldn't that be a contribution to expenses?
I think so, because it would be for child
care. Because it says your dependents.
Yeah.
So you would think that would add into. Huh. So that's all they include in here. So they include that and note when you add that in. Also, they don't include any other money from like Cook if he receives benefits, because it just has her Social Security, right?
And I believe that she has reported before when they filed for indigency, John gets Social Security.
Yeah. So shouldn't that be included in this too?
Well, I would think so, but I don't know. I've never filled out these forms. Who knows?
I've never had that kind of. Like I said, I went through it, but I didn't have any money. At the time, I had a lot of debt for medical. That's what ate me up, But I had nothing, so I just I took every freaking dollar I could pull up. I pulled it down to credit cards and everything else, and I took out a lot of debt, and shoveled it into freaking medical. Mm-hmm. It took a lot to. It did. It took a lot, It was amazing. So most people don't understand, like your health insurance has a lifetime payout. They set a number, and after that, they don't have to pay anymore. So, it's a death sentence after that, unless you have more money. So my stepfather had a payout of a little over $1 million right in there. And he hit that really fast, like 6, 7, or I don't remember. And he ended up having to have quite a few other, I mean, we bought him quite a few years with it, but I landed on 2 bankruptcies doing that. But it was worth it for sure. It was amazing. I never knew before that you had a lifetime. You get sick, man. They get to decide when, we complain about all these other countries. We complain about other countries and saying, well, they're deciding this or that. Well, they do that all the time here.
Yeah, they do it here too.
It's the business of death,
Yeah, insurance will just decide one day they don't cover you anymore. Yep. No matter how long you paid into it.
So here they have with expenses. That's interesting. So with your expenses, do you have dependents? Yes, they have a dependent. Your expenses including expenses of people other than yourself and your dependent. Yes, that would include. So their expenses include the following. Let's check this out. Real estate taxes, which this is actually wrong. They were talking about how much money they paid in real estate. Remember, 2Ls claimed that?
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. So
I thought they paid her real estate taxes.
They did, but the total there for costs that would come up for the year is still higher than $50.
Well, I think that's monthly.
Is this their monthly breakdown? It's still, what was their, I'm sure somebody remembers, what was their total? What was their total, folks? I'm trying to remember. Was it over $600?
You mean for taxes?
Yeah. I'm sure. I can't remember what they paid.
I thought it was
I'm just
something
curious.
like,
Is it under
wasn't it?
$600? Yeah.
No, I think it was like 9 something.
Because I mean, okay, if we're talking about monthly, if this is real estate taxes and it was, $50 a month, we're talking $600. So that's why. So if it's $1,400, that didn't work. It'd be like $100+ right?
Yeah.
So that still doesn't make sense.
Mm-mm.
So they put in home maintenance, repair, or upkeep expenses at $100. Man, I wish my upkeep was only $100 a month.
Right.
Jesus, that's one thing. You can rent and you can put up with ever increasing costs, or you can, you can own and you can shovel God knows how much money.
Oh
in there.
God, we just built a garage and I can't even think about it. The amount of money it costs is just, it's outrageous.
I mean, we had to have,
and it's always more than they say it's going to be.
Oh yeah,
by thousands of dollars. It's just, ugh.
Yeah, it's gross when you think like, oh, gross. So, electric, heat, or natural gas, $300. Man, is that just me? Like, I keep my air conditioning rolling all the time. Like with my medication right now, I can't stand to be hot. Like it notes it in there. You'll get overheated like all the time. So I feel like if it is above 68 degrees, I feel like I'm going to die. Like all the time. So my house minimum is 68 degrees. But if I can make a place colder, it'll be colder. It'll be 65. But I keep it running all the time, and it doesn't cost me with my electricity. It doesn't cost me $300. So is that just a regional thing, or is my electricity for my house? It's not a small house, and I'm not cutting back on electricity. Running it wide open like that. I have devices that run all the time. So, I mean, they do hog electricity, and still $300. Now in the winter,
my electricity bill is huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Is it? I didn't know if it was regional or not. So I was curious.
Yeah, New York is very expensive, and it is my electricity. In fact, I got a text the other day when we turned the air conditioners on for the first time, and I got an RG&E text that said, your electricity usage has tripled in the last week, just wanting to let you know, and I got immediately panicked. I was like, oh my God, the bill's going to be so high. So I'm running around turning the air up, I'm turning the temperature up and turning all the lights off and yelling at the kids to turn the lights off.
Ours is the TVA. Somebody noted, all the
TVA.
The Tennessee Valley Authority. That's one reason we haven't. Although they increased, so it was lower. But our electrical company up here, they decided to do renovations to their offices and stuff. And then, weirdly enough, they've actually had local papers complaining and everything about this. And I thought we were going to have like it's small enough town that you got to be careful about stupid things. You know what I mean? You might get some of that vigilante justice. You got to be careful. But they decided to renovate and everything. Right after they did it, lo and behold, prices increased. Huh. Strange. Yeah. Weird how that.
You know what else does not help is when you have an old house like I do with old windows, and it's just escaping.
Oh, yeah.
It's
you're on that one for sure.
But the windows, like to replace all the windows in the house would be tens of thousands of dollars.
Like everything's great. My mom and stepfather, they have they have their church building, and they needed a brand new roof for a church. But now this is a big building. It's not like a house. It's a big building, but they were pricing roofs, and I could not believe what a roof costs for one of those. It cost like a good price was around $70,000. I was like, what? $70,000? Now that was a competitive, really reasonable price.
Is this true? Rick says that the TVA CEO makes $8 million. He's a government employee, the highest paid in the USA.
I would not be surprised. Yeah,
that's disgusting.
Yeah.
That's truly disgusting. How else would we be disgusted if we didn't have government officials?
Exactly. Exactly.
We should be grateful for them. Yep. How else would we know to be disgusted without these people?
Yep. They point out, you have people that are suffering, especially like Tennessee. I mean, you think about the poverty in some of the areas around here, and yet you have some government paid fat cat pulling in millions for what exactly? It's not like he's doing all the work there. No way. Probably doesn't even have any idea how anything works. So let's see. Water, sewage, of course, garbage collection. Man, if you can get water and I guess they don't get garbage collection. No, my bad. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't think they get garbage collection.
I was like, garbage collect what? No, never mind. So telephone, cell phone, internet. Man, I wish I could get all of my stuff under $165 with cell phone.
Yeah, me too.
God, I got 4 cell phones.
Think about it.
And painful. It makes me sad sometimes.
I can't even think about it. Right now, I'm only paying for 3 cell phones, but I'm going to have to pay for 4 when Hangry gets one. I don't even want to think about it. Oh my God.
4, I have a business line I have to maintain. Again, it's a deduction at the end of the year, but it's
this
still
stream
painful.
Is depressing me. I'm thinking about all my finances now and how much money I'm paying and everything, and I feel I'm depressed.
So their food and housekeeping they say $478, but they have that much weight.
What?
So their household has $478, but they make $700 and something dollars in fucking food.
So they're getting $700 and something a month for food, but they're only spending $478. Oh, come on! All right, see, this just makes me mad.
They're lying about they're lying about so many things.
What are they doing with the extra food stamps?
They have they spend no money on clothes ever, on anything. Laundry, no cleaning.
Well, that's obvious. That I believe. That's not a lie.
Oh man,
they definitely don't clean stuff.
But they don't buy any clothes. Okay, no clothing, no clothing budget. Personal care products and services, $10. So with haircuts for kids and everything else, we would be $10.
Does that include shampoo, body wash, deodorant,
everything?
$10.
$10. Man, I can't even buy. I use some of that. I use that negative as I've gotten older, like the cheap deodorants. Oh my God, they tear me up. I can't use them. So one stick of that costs $10. What are you talking about?
I don't even want to tell you how much money my hair products cost.
Yeah, my hair products cost $10 a bottle. Yeah, and I get a Good Looks bottle. I use that native.
I use 15 different hair products every time I do my hair. Each one of those hair products costs probably between $9 to $15 a bottle.
Ouch. Yeah, but you have to maintain nice hair. See, for me, I like
my
long
hair.
I have long hair, but I have it because I hate going to the barber. I hate it. I hate doing that. It's one thing it disgusts me as a price. So I'm like, it'll grow. I'll get it trimmed up here and there. It's good. But I buy let's see, we spend $10 on what's it called? Oh yeah, shampoo. $10 on what's that other thing? Oh yeah, conditioner.
Well, the one thing that saves me is that I only have to wash my hair and style it once a week. So this is not like an everyday thing.
Nobody expects me to be.
My hair products last a long time.
Well, as a male, no one expects my hair when I step out and I look like like I'm working on a Unabomber cut, and everybody's like, it's just that weirdo that lives in that house over there.
Step out and look like Bigfoot.
They're like, that hideous lady. If I came out and I were a lady, they'd be like, oh my God, it's Medusa. So I guess there is a different standard. So transportation and gas maintenance, not car payments. So gas and everything, $200. What, to get your $10 in deodorant and soap? Where are you going? Oh yeah, they're going to the flea market. So this is interesting. Like where are you going? Oh, to that place that you don't claim. The flea markets, all those other things. You're spending gas going to a thing where you say you make no money. So you're just throwing it away. That's fine. That's interesting. Vehicle insurance, $125. Car payment. So they tell you their car payment for that Jeep is $734 a month. $734 a month. That is insane.
That's a huge car payment. But that's what they are these days. Cars cost as much as a small house now.
That is freaking nuts.
It's crazy.
Though,
that is a mortgage payment.
That is, they are paying, what is that?
That's why I
8,000?
refuse. I refuse to buy a car, a new car. I won't do it. I want a used car for as cheap as possible. And even the used cars now are $25,000 to $30,000. It's insane.
They're paying a little over $8,800 a year for that car.
But somehow she's only paid $900 for it, she says.
I mean, what the hell, dude? I'm curious how long they've owned the vehicle, because they've been paying that amount of money for that amount of time. Also, again, what was their amount of money they got? Oh, that was on the last. What was that on document 18? Is that correct? 18. Give me 1 second. What did they say that they make per month? So she gets $987 per month. She said from her Social Security, right? And 734 of that go to a car.
Wow.
That's fucking nuts.
That's why she needed a kid.
Actually, and then you take, plus 200.
Then she's got the kid's SSI.
So with the car, this is transportation, so that's got to be gas, plus the car. This is more than her Social Security. That's 934, there we go, over 1,000, between these three costs right here for one vehicle. That is her entire Social Security right there in one vehicle. You go and buy like a secondhand vehicle,
Tracy, I hate to tell you that I don't see that happening anytime soon. There was just a story in the news today that one of you sent me about Florida DCF and how bad they are at recognizing children in actual danger. And they highlighted 2 stories where children were sadly killed. And they talked about how DCF in Florida refused to answer their questions about it, refused to say what they did in those cases. But the news then highlighted how there were other families out there who had these people, DCF, intervene in their lives for no good reason. Meanwhile, there are children out there living in sheds. There are children in Florida out there who are not being... What are you laughing? That is not funny.
No, look at this. Look at this here. I saw that. I was looking for something. And I saw Megan's lung worm. It was a very inappropriate time to laugh. Thank you. I watched so you don't have to.
I just said there are children living in sheds, and you're laughing? So inappropriate. Okay, I
because you. As long as they don't get the Megan's lung worm, it's okay.
That was
look how it has good hair. Look at its hair.
I also like the cleavage. Frankly, I think that is perfect. And the hair.
That's so good. Look at that.
So good. It's so good.
It's sad talking about the state of where kids are. I mean, honestly, I working with
a terrible job. They just do.
Working with Tennessee, worked with them after they take people out of the home. You may have, again, we're not talking about an individual worker. Some individual workers really do want to change the world, but we're talking about a system, and it is a system that is absolutely broken. Remember, it's broken so bad that in Texas, for example, that the Fed sued the state of Texas and was charging him something like $20-something thousand a day because they weren't fixing their system because children were being harmed or worse.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So, I mean,
it's the same old story, and the news is always telling it and pointing it out. So, when you guys are asking, when will this child be saved? Don't hold your breath for DCF to recognize that there may be that there's a problem and that there's danger here. Don't expect that, because they won't.
I love I learned one other thing that I watch so you don't have to point it out.
I love her, by the way. Whoever you are, I love you.
Yep. So they're pointing out
And
that
she's a really good artist too. That was a really good little
they're
drawing.
fun. They're funny. They're funny little drawings all the time.
I
So
know, I love
noting
it.
though that 2L and all these people, they keep talking about Jeremy Hales and talking about his neighbors, right? And yet, when you look at their videos, look at all the ones where they were talking about their neighbors.
Oh yeah, she did an entire series of her alleged bad neighbor on YouTube.
I mean, isn't that interesting? So if that's something that you're culpable for, then
Yeah, I mean, it's always okay for them, just not for anybody else. Everything is okay for them,
oh yeah,
but nobody else.
that's the way it works. Everything is okay for anybody in the ecosystem, just not as long as Jeremy Hales. Jeremy Hales. He's like a fucking mantra out there, He's like their devil, their boogeyman.
Yeah, well, he's paying the bills. Their hatred of him pays the bills, and they stream on it every single night.
I'm glad to be able to laugh at these idiots, because I also feel like they would break a person. There is so much weight pointed at one person there that it is unreal, because it's not just pointed at him. Again, as he said, he's got all these workers. He's got all this stuff going on. And he's a strong person, but they have tried to break him. And there are people that they have nothing out. You've got one person out there. All they do day and night is live online. You have people with some fucked up backgrounds too. That oh god. Anyway, let's cover some super chats here. Are you hanging or are you out here?
I really want to, but I probably only last another 10 minutes. I worked out really hard today. I lifted some very heavy weights, and I'm starting to feel it, and I need to get in the tub.
Oh, you're good. We'll pick up tomorrow.
Or my neck is going to be in serious trouble, but I'll hang for like 10 more minutes.
Okay. All right. I'm going to hit Cheryl, by the way. So I sent 10 through Cash App. Thank you for that. Noted that you made me laugh at making so hard. I almost died. I wonder what made you laugh. I don't know. We don't laugh at. I love this short arm dance. It's so funny, man. I was like, why would you make that?
I actually love the short arms, though.
It's amazing. I love it. I love that. It randomly. I mean, it did that randomly because everything like the other dance, look, regular arms,
I haven't seen that one yet.
Oh yeah, that's when I was doing the happy birthday from all of us to you. Yeah, see, it times out. Look, happy birthday from all of us to you. Yeah, happy birthday, may all your dreams come true, baby. Yeah, see, I gave myself plenty of time. But it gave me regular arms.
Why does he look so scary though? He looks really that way.
Because I was playing around with an avatar that was built on a Terminator, and I was like,
I don't like that tongue. That tongue scares me.
He's bad. Like, hey man, you never know how bad it is at Chi-Chi's. It's dangerous. The sticky. Thanks for 9 months, baby. I feel like I've just been born again.
Don't tell Laura Owens.
Indeed. Oh man, that Laura Owens stuff is so nuts. That mail thing was so
I have
funny.
got to send a press inquiry to in fact, I'm going to do that right now while I'm remembering.
Yeah, dude, that's a good idea.
I'll do it right now. Maricopa County Sheriff.
I'm sorry, Janice. I said Janice. I'm sorry, Janice. Thanks for the 15 months. I don't know why. My brain. Well, we made it to we live on Ghost Hollow Road. Hubby and I married in October or in Halloween. That's cool. That's a cool Ghost Hollow Road on Halloween. Seller Stephen King, neighbor Michael Myers. It's amazing. Fun times indeed. That is awesome. I used to live on Amityville Road, and it looked like the old Amityville house from Amityville Horror 1, I think it was. It's before Smyrna, Tennessee. It's now gotten really big, but Smyrna, Tennessee, when I was younger, it used to be this tiny nothing. That was a crazy place. Just Bubba Hip. Just look at the little crash test dummies. They look so happy. Thanks for the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Razilla, thanks for it. Please show the toast videos I sent. I'll have to put them into the thing to pull them up. I won't play the video outside very well. It'll lock up a little bit. It'll play if I compress them, like the ones that I show you from the what is that, pigs first, they have to be compressed, but I will. I'll show them the next time. I'll make a note of it. Thank you too. They're funny. I just downloaded them. I thought they were funny. Fallen Hero, thank you for the gifted membership there. Thank you. Fallen Hero, by the way, appreciate you, brother. Chris, thanks for the 3 months there. Hi from Queensland, Australia. Keep up the good work, Tug and Megan. Indeed. Max Lab, thanks for the 2. Randy ends LP today on Fed 1. Oh, yeah, that's a good document. It very much is. It needs its own live stream. That's the thing. So we have 2 documents that are pretty good. We have the Randy going at Bruce on Fed 2. That one was a good one. We have the counterclaim document that we had today. Those are good documents. We have a few we need to get, but this, again, we're juggling, and appreciate it, Max Lab, by the way, but we're juggling so many of them that it's madness. We'll have a lag somewhere, but when, I'm not sure.
And we don't know.
Man, I'm waiting for the judge. I mean, the judge cannot be happy. I mean, these people, they lied, just flagrantly lied about getting a lawyer for their cases and then popped off with this. That's what they spent their money on. There was no lawyer. It was all a lie. Frankie, thanks for the 10 gifted memberships. Thank you, Frankie. That is awesome of you and much appreciated. I saw those fall into. They're awesome. Thank you. Fallen Hero, thanks for 31 months, by the way. That's awesome, man. That is a long time. You're rolling up on 3 years. Appreciate you, brother. Susan, thanks for the 7 months. Still shaking my head. Like a brain down. No, man. I shake my head so much time. I think, oh no, I'm going to break something. Cindy, thanks for the 10 there. The stupid thing is that filing before all of this settlement is done, that she cannot file again for 7 years. That's right, indeed. And she's going to have a ton more liability that isn't going to be valid anyway. Yeah, and what happens when other people hit her for litigation? What happens when she doesn't see something coming? Because she's thrown a lot of other people in there. What happens when they want to sue? You know, their plan anyway is stupid because, again, you can't just be like, oh, well, I imagine this case. I imagine I'm going to have this much liability. Let me write it off before anything happens.
Yeah, it's so weird. I've never heard of anyone doing that. I don't think that that's a thing.
No, I think that's something that people need to argue, you know, big time. Just J-Hip, thanks for that. Wait. Your name isn't Tug as your attorney. I suggest you disclose everything to your lawyer going forward. Yeah, I thought your legal advice was to change my name to that, but we were afraid there might be a conflict. Somebody might have trademarked that for let's say adult purposes. Okay, the cat lady, please survive. Tug, can you use your psych background to explain the projection? Why do bad actors accuse others of what they're doing? Well, it really depends. It depends on why. Some people believe what they say. You know, you do have a personality type that believes that, but I don't for a second believe these folks do. They just lie. Now, some of it isn't psychological, though. I mean, these people are running PR, and it is a money grift. It has been a very successful one. You hate Jeremy Hales hard enough, maybe you too. If you pull enough of these people together, you can make money. All they needed to do was land a couple of big fish, and they did. It doesn't matter about the little folks, you know, that they pulled in here and there. Yeah, sure. I mean, they made money on them. No problem. But when you've got people that are dropping tens of thousands of dollars that you can treat like shit, by the way, they can treat them like absolute garbage. You could have people come in like Ray, you know, they were bragging because 3 people, Ray, Stupa, and Guapo, supposedly were going to get their bills paid. And I thought, Ray, the guy who was like, I wouldn't give that guy's money back, talk shit in all these chats. Apparently, you just land that one big fish. So I don't I don't think it's just a psychological thing. I think a lot of people use psychology to confuse bad actions. But I mean, there can be. You also, we don't know any of these people. I feel like we know them decently, but we haven't sat down. So you can't remote diagnose people either. I think there's a couple of mentally ill people in there. And you can look at why do they do it? I don't know. Maybe the voice. I don't know. I have no idea. But
The voices.
the male thinks about, wait, that umbrella guy's not your name next to you on my face. That is my face. You don't think I'm pretty? I love it. Patrick, thanks for the 10 months. Not only has this case turned me into a Muppet, but now I'm also a Megan Fox. That's right. Everybody that posts over and the other thing is a Megan Fox.
I am Spartacus.
You're a foxlet.
I am Foxicus.
Foxicus. You mother foxers. So I guess we're all Megan Fox. I'm doing my part. I'm Megan Fox. Let's all stand up and let the world know. I know. There you go. We're all Megan Foxes. That was gonna be the communal outcry there. You know. Oh, give me 1 second, man. AI, by the way, I've been playing with AI and telling it to make me some phrases. You know, just to put on the shirt of my avatar. And some of the stuff it comes up with are pretty fun. I like some of it's like, look, here's one. I sharpen my teeth on the bones of my failures. I like that one. I was like, that's pretty good.
That should say, I sharpen my teeth on the bones of losers.
Oh, my teeth get sharper, baby. Anytime I fail, they get sharper. I was like, that's pretty good. Let's see. There was another one too. It's random. You know, it was like, come up with some stuff. Let's just see what you can do. And let's see. He built the chiseled from spite, built for war.
I love chiseled from spite.
Yeah.
I love that. That's funny.
It's the tug of war. Oh, there's so many of them though. Man, AI is fun to play with. Again, it may enslave us one day, but until then. Rickles, thanks for the 6 months. I wonder who lit the fuse on her tip. Oh no.
Oh, God.
Oh, I don't want that explosion. Gross. David, thanks for the 2.
Picture.
It is a horrible picture. David, thanks for the 2. Hopefully reality is going to sink in hard soon. Yeah, well, I think the bankruptcy thing maybe it may not go the way they planned. We'll see. It's all a shit show to watch, right? SF, thanks for Rob. EDB had to reset her Stream Deck somehow. Something about the software or something wasn't compatible with StreamYard anymore.
Oh God, I'm gonna die. This is
just ask Brad.
Brad has already fixed it one time, so
Brad.
It appears that every time I shut off the computer, it has to be redone again.
Oh no.
I'm not happy about this.
Oh no. Andre, thanks for the 2. They fight hills, but fall in legal tall tales. That's true. It's like they fall in the long grass of the law. You know. Oh no. Winder, what's up, Wendy Bono? Thanks for the 16 months. Rule 26, safe harbor. Yeah, it's your favorite.
Yeah, I'd play it for you, but yeah, I can't.
Indeed. Dorit, thanks for the find there. Hey, Tuck, did you notice yesterday that the date listed for payment to the new lawyer was listed as June the 2nd? WTF. Was it June? Did they list it as June the 2nd?
Why is that significant?
Well, they had let me check because that means that they were doing it from go, right? Because they put up the pay thing. Let's see, what was the date on the pay pool? Huh. Yeah, so the payment went out June the 2nd. So that 100% says that was so here you go. That's another connection. It just shows you that it was all from the beginning. They never planned another lawyer, because check this out here. Can't see the bottom of it. So if you look, you notice recent activity, the negative balance where it was paid out.
Oh yeah. June.
So that is 100%. Yeah, that's where the money went. There was never a lawyer plan. So,
Unbelievable.
yeah, that's a good note, Doreen. I
All
wasn't
right, I'm
thinking about.
gonna jump.
Okay.
But it's been great. Thank you, everyone, and thanks for the terrifying nightmares I'm gonna have about lungworms.
Lungworm.
That's gonna be great.
It's like glowworm, except not fun.
Good night.
Good night. Patty, thanks for the membership there. Thank you, Patty. That is much appreciated. Thank you. I like your Muppet, by the way. It looks cool. I like the angle of the Muppet. That's cool. It looks like it's staring up at me from, like I'm looking down at it. I like that. Tracy, thanks for the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Tracy. That is much appreciated there. And second, man, these things are not clicking over. Thank you, Tracy, by the way. The button got stuck. It wouldn't do anything. Thank you, Tracy. I love watching those fall in, like I said. I just saw a couple more go in. I like that. Or 5 more. Like I said, I love watching them fall in. So, David, thanks for the gifted membership. Thank you, David. That avatar is amazing, too. That is awesome. Just Jay, thanks for the 10 there. The lunatics were all together without adult supervision or padded walls today. Oh my God. Some of this stuff that they said, Lord. Yeah. They made some statements they probably should not say. I mean, you very much could say that's construed as a threat. They should know better. And again, they all get together with banned individuals and they say the most heinous shit. And they're all okay with that. But that was some amazing jury duty. Yes, some duty for sure. So we'll get a recap tomorrow. Check out Just J Hip tomorrow. That will be a really interesting recap if you didn't see it. It was something else. Just Jay, thanks for the 5 too. I found the flaw in this filing, and it's stupid and full of lies. That is indeed true. That is the main flaw in this filing. It is overwhelming, and it's stupid and full of lies. Oh man, I tell you. Oh, by the way, I was looking at. So today is Prime Day, with Amazon, and I was looking for a carry portable charger for a laptop. Like one thing I need to pick up, and I've needed to forever, is a charger that'll hold up and actually work for a laptop in case I'm gone for a while, like a 350 to a 500. And God, I could not believe how much this thing was. So I was like, well, either that or you get them from a company and you're like, that doesn't sound like a reputable company. Amazon, thanks for selling from everywhere. Sticky. Thanks for the 5 there. Okay, chat. I have to go and dominate at trivia night. Boom, trivia. I am a wealth of useless trivia. Yes, I hear I am that too. A mind like a steel trap. That's a bit rusty. Well broken, really. Yeah, I've heard that before. Oh, man. When you can recite a certain Kool-Aid drinker, cult leader, when you can recite his speeches, I was asked, why do you know that speech? I don't know. I just do. Sassy, thanks for the vibe. Based on Levy County Tax Department is in both their names. John paid half, missed half of the house sale profit and bought the camper. Her the Jeep. That's interesting. One second, let me clear my throat. All right, let's continue here. It's interesting. Again, the camper thing is weird. The reason I mentioned that is because of there was a thing about a repo. It wasn't the main camper, but there was a discussion about a repo. So, oh no. Travis, thanks for the 21 months. I got a record still open. It's Metallica and all that are worth a ton of money. Indeed. There are some, it's amazing what some stuff is worth. I have some like toys and other stuff. If you keep them around long enough, if you're alive long enough, some of this random stuff that you have, it becomes desirable to some other people sometimes. And it's amazing, isn't it, man? Thank you Appreciate you, Travis. Hope you're doing well, brother, by the way. Emmy, thanks for the 10 there. LP is claiming all debt, but not claiming any assets. That's right. Despite her previous statements and statements of her co-conspirators. Yes, indeed. She has gone in and said, I've got all this debt that's limited, because what they're trying to do is write off future litigate, which again is strange. I'm not even involved in this litigation yet, but I'm going to write it off. What? Okay. Well, we'll see. Just J-Hip, thanks for the 2 there. No clothes, just a poll. They don't have a poll. Is that tax deductible? I'm wondering. That has to be a hobby, because it can't be a profession. If you have a secondary job, you have to list it. Dan Davis, thanks for the 10 months. She has a service turtle. That's what you need. You need a service turtle there. Lily, thanks to the 5. Megan, you didn't put Tug's name in the video title yesterday. I always include yours. Please do this so we know. So every now and then I actually do. For if she has a specific thumbnail with me on there, that's usually how it's signified. If I put her on the thumbnail, she's either, it depends on the placement. If I put her in the middle, like with me, also, even if I don't put the name, you'll know that she's going to co-host, right? If I move her over to the side, closer to the edge, either she is brought up as a topic, or she has been sued or something like that, and she wouldn't be on. But yeah, one of the 2 ways. There are a couple of times, though, I do run out of room to put her in there. We get 100 characters. So sometimes like you don't. And you only get 70 characters that are spotlighted at the beginning, too, which is crazy. Well, I'll mention that. I think she puts the little thumbnail indicator, though, just to note as an FYI. We usually have some way that we signify that the other person's going to be on in the thumbnail. But thank you. Patrick, thanks for the 2. Don't they have that $1,200? So it was $1,200. I couldn't remember if it was 12 or 14. Yeah, they're talking about, again, they didn't include that, though. I don't know what happened, unless they gave it back suddenly, that we haven't heard about. Were you right? Thanks for the 5 there. I'm in an airport. There's a woman. Oh, yeah, the baggage carousel lady. That's funny. Oh, that was a dad joke, because you said she's slowly coming around. I thought it could be real. Real, right? I thought that could be real these days, man. One time I saw somebody get up, I guess, for a TikTok video or something. But there's this girl that got up to dance on the baggage carousel, and you know how it rolls through the thing. She wasn't paying attention, and it clocked the crap out of her while she was doing it. She fell over into the back. It was pretty funny. Not out. Thanks. It's all borrowed, is what it says. It's all borrowed, indeed. None of it belongs. Right. Real live, thanks for the 5. There's an old Megan who swallowed a fly. I don't know why she swallowed a fly. Or perhaps she, yeah, that reminds me of that. I haven't heard that in a long time. Like the kids, they make jokes about stuff like that. Any kind of insect one. I've heard itsy bitsy spider so many times lately, by the way. Rickles, thanks to do bzz, bzz, bzz. Indeed, watch out for the lungworm. Amen. Thanks for the 10 there, Megan. I had a patient once who licked an envelope and ended up getting roach eggs attached to her esophagus. Oh, hey, wait. I'm going to send this over to Megan. Let's see. I'm going to send this one over to her. I'm screenshotting it. Just give me a second. I need to send this specifically to her. Just give me a minute. I've got to mail it to her, or I've got to send it to her, but I've got to send it over from my laptop to my phone to message it. I'm going to message it to her. Just give me 1 minute. It'll be worth it, though. See what kind of a response we get out of it. Oh, my God. I'll be like, FYI. Oh, wait, no. I'll message. Hey, I'll be like, give me 1 second. I'm going to type it to her right now. Give me 1 second. I'm like, FYI, Megan, one person in chat with a medical background was worried about your bug story. They said someone once came in because they licked an envelope and and it had roach eggs on it. They ended up with roaches in their esophagus. Sleep well. Night. I just texted that. Oh, sorry. Oh, I thought that would be funny to text. And it was. I actually got a good laugh out of it. So, Patriot for life. That's the vibe. Guess she didn't list the tons of items she has consigned as a trading post. Technically, it's hers until it sells. Yeah, she's trying to. It's weird. What they're trying to pull here is they're trying to say it's all for the turtle sanctuary. None of that money's actually for her, even though she's saying she's indigent and can barely pay her bills. In fact, they don't have enough money listed to pay what they have for vehicle and everything. She doesn't make enough money to pay her household. You know, she didn't include anything from John Cook as part of her household. So she included more costs than she actually has income. That's it's hard to, especially when you're on benefits, you're not getting money from anywhere else. How is that working out? Yeah, I think Tug is altering the story ever so slightly. Yeah, maybe a little. Oh my God. Megan said she saw that, and that's me. She should watch it. Oh my God, that cracks me up. I love it. Aces, thanks for the 2 there. No downward dog. I know, man. You got to teach them the yoga. You got to teach them the yoga, Megan. Michelle, thanks for the vibe. What about the turtles? Shit in the fence holes. Right. Why not claim the shit in the fence holes? Those are important. That's valuable, That is valuable. You got to claim that. Oh my God. Oh man. Emma, thanks for the 10 there. Noted. Here's the money toward a charger or whatever. Thank you, Emma. I appreciate that. I need to get one of those. They're like, you have to get one of the, like a 350 or a 500. And they're, God, I don't remember. I think I saw one for $200. I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to come off that for that. There's a pain in the buttocks, But when I go places, if we have live, anywhere I go, I take a computer. That way, I always have a show. Even if we're all hanging out in the middle of the night, I've done that before too. I don't have a topic. We just chill for a minute, but I usually try to have one. People that I'm around usually sleep more than me. So, Dan, thanks for the 10 there. She can claim her jail cell in Ohio as a vacation home. Hey, yeah, by the inch there. That's awesome. That'll be fun. Man, I must be feeling better. I've had some of that brain fog. You can tell, like it still locks me up here and there. But that medication they gave me, so I was reading, they gave me a different medication, right? It's give me a second, I'll tell you what it is. Can't remember the name of it. It's fludrocortisone, all right? So the use of it, if you look it up, it has a few uses, but with one of the things with heart, I've had problems with my blood pressure just bottoming the heck out, you know, and that's supposed to, it balances like water and salt. Now, I was taking Midodrine, but Midodrine, this stuff builds in your system, right? It builds over like it takes a week or so to build it up. Midodrine is like a crash cart. You take it and it works automatically. It's like bam, but in 3 hours or so, it's gone. It doesn't work anymore. It's just done. Maybe 4 hours, but it leaves this, for me, the tingling and stuff, like goosebumps you get when you're sick, especially, how it feels awful. Sometimes it's oversensitive, feels terrible, right? Well, with that Midodrine, it was so bad. I could barely stand some days to like have a shirt on or anything. It was just awful. I felt like I needed to buzz my head. It was so bad. My hair was bothering me, everything. And it wasn't working that well. It was working okay. I could go out, I wouldn't fall out or anything, but it's still showing, symptoms that were rough. Well, their answer was double the dose of it. And I was like, if I double the dose of it, my skin's going to walk away. I can't do that. So those two doctors that I had before, that was their thing. I went over to Vanderbilt though, and I think I've gotten a better person. So they retaliate. By the way, this is crazy. I think I told you yesterday. Well, I mentioned this yesterday on Megan's stream, but I won't tell you this. So these doctors that could not, by the way, get a call back to me within 2 days, they managed, when I switched over to Vanderbilt, I got a new medication called in. It took me, I had to wean it anyway. So I didn't go over for 2.5 days. I didn't go and get it. When I went over, I got that, and I got the Midodrine because I needed it for a few more days. And I'll already go ahead and get it just in case I need it anyway. It's like, I think it's $7, something like that. So go ahead and get it if I ever need it. Again, I've got it put away, whatever. But I noticed that the dosage was wrong. So after I get in, I contacted them, and they told me that the doctor's office, they had not written to discontinue, but they had, apparently their office had noticed that I had switched and noticed that I had kind of different medication, and they called over there and made sure to end the medication refills on it. I was like, so you people can't call me back from your office. I can't but if I change doctors, and you can't plow me for money anymore, you sure as shit can get a hold of the place and cancel refills. That's amazing. Makes me feel good to switch. Travis, though, thanks for, I'm disabled. And you can't, she should lose her benefits, because if I could do shit like that, I could lose my disability, plus I get SNAP too. I get $37 a month. See, that's awful. When people need the amount of money, like these amounts of money, like, how does anybody exist on these amounts of money? It's ridiculous, man. I've had to have help before in my life too. Like, it's a conversation, and it makes me mad. It does. It makes me mad, because the amount of money that people get, and then again, the people who need it, and the people who are trying to do better with themselves and do better in life, they seem to always be the ones that get punched in the gut from it, Patrick, thanks for the five. Since 2021, there have been other residents of the property for at least 30 days, about every 7 months. I thought that was strange, but EBT fraud fits, huh? That'd be interesting. I'm wondering though. So she claims $300 and something for herself. That seems like a lot, man, where people know. But okay, if she gets that herself, she didn't list a code, she didn't list her cohabitant. She listed them separate, and her dependent. So I don't know. That just seems crazy considering the amounts that other people know. Becky, thanks for the 10. This woman's living in a fantasy world. My head hurts trying to understand why she thinks filling out fraudulent information to the court is okay. Because she's being told repeatedly, I suppose, that it's going to work out. That these people they're telling her that the information provided is accurate and good enough. One second, I got a call. To me, that's amazing, Wanda, thanks for wow. This is just a bunch of garbage. Indeed. Indeed. And that is a well versed way of putting it for sure. Just Bubba Hip. Thanks for the 20 there for the bug. Thank you. Thank you, Just Bubba Hip. I tell her she'll be thrilled about that. I think she ran off and went back to bed. Dark Plate. Thanks for the 2 there. There's not a statement, but that is its own statement. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. Dream Angel. Thanks for the 7 there. I generally pre-plan my bills by 1 month when I get my tax refund. So then in case I have one bad, you had a bad month, I have a cushion. I understand that. That's actually a good idea. I try to keep extra money on hand. That way I can cover a bad month just out of other place money. You know, I don't want to say how I cover it, but I try to keep enough money around that I can do that myself. That's a good idea. You know, that way if something devastating happens, like again, you know, with all the medical stuff, I'd wondered if it'd cause an issue. You know, if I can't work for a month, that'd be a real problem. But like I haven't ran into that yet, but still I do worry about it. I understand that for sure. Dark Blade, thanks for the 2. What about the turtles in the pet section? Again, she seems to be claiming that they're not her turtles. That's the way she's going with it. They're not hers. They belong to whoever with the turtle sanctuary, I suppose, which is bizarre because she claimed them as she told the Fish and Wildlife guy that some of them she had for a while. They were her pets, if I well remember that. Carol thinks of 5. Element OP is trying to rob Peter. That's right, lawsuit to pay Paul. Yeah, I think she thinks she's going to get a payday. I think there are people around her that are telling her that she's going to get a payday. And the problem is with this whole idea, look at who she noted she's going to get a payday from. How does she think she's going to get a payday from the Grangers? Like, in what world do you think you're going to get a payday? Because they came on, they helped Lloyd? Well, first of all, you drop that litigation. Are you going to try to sue again? Because you're going to have a real problem. You're going to have a real problem of going after, again, you've gone after Jeremy Hales how many times and people around him? It doesn't just have to connect to him. It connects to your name. So you might have a real problem with that. We'll see. Wanda, thanks for the 10. I mean, I live in Oklahoma. I'm on SSD when I turn 65 this month. Go straight to SSI. Yeah, I saw this before. This annoys me right here for you. You know, very much. Every time I ask for a SNAP, they tell me I don't qualify. That's so crazy, man. That's so crazy. I hate that for you. You know, Dark Plate, thanks for the 20 there. She has a turtle sanctuary. Why is animals not listed? Yeah, like I said, I think she's trying to say they're not hers. I think that's what she's trying to play. Like, it's somebody else's. I just work there for free, which is so bizarre. You can work and you can maintain things and you can go out and she quote unquote volunteers time when they sell things. And the money goes to the turtle sanctuary. That's how they're trying to play it. That, you know, look at it. That's what they're trying to do. All the new businesses she mentions and stuff like that. No, totally not her. Totally not her. Mom to an angel, thanks for the 2. I've had 7 back surgeries, SSDI. It took forever by work. Yeah, I had a friend that had been involved in a pretty nasty car wreck, and he had ended up, I mean, it fractured his legs and his ankles. Just terrible stuff. And it took him, I mean, he could not work. There was no way. He could barely move. I mean, it was awful what happened with him. And it took 2.5 years for him to get assistance. And I mean, he was in a bad way. Very bad way. You know, he had mental issues as well as physical issues after that. You know, he couldn't get back in a car. And I was terrified to do anything like that. He became pretty much a hermit. Or, you know, wouldn't come out. Very reclusive. And understandably, they don't want to help. So Mom to Angel thinks so too. Husband needs lungs due to COVID. No help. That's awful, man. That's awful. I'm sorry to hear that there. It's the way they are, man. My pharmacist, nicest guy. He had beer bug problems. You know, he had he had an issue that it caused his heart some problems. He needed a pacemaker. All right. So he ended up getting pacemaker put in. After he got a pacemaker put in, they did something where they screwed up something in the surgery. So they needed to pull out his pacemaker, and they needed to do whatever for repair. Well, they kept putting it off. They kept canceling and pushing it out. They pushed out 9 weeks. Finally, he got another doctor to do it. He's tied up in litigation with, he's suing over it, obviously. But from there, and with all the beer bug issues that had done to his lung, scarring of his heart from other stuff, and plus their negligence, he's to the point he was talking about, the costs to keep mounting and getting anything done with lawsuits is so slow. It's like at a certain point, I wonder when it's more cost effective just not getting more help. And that's terrible. That's a terrible thing. People every day are put in that situation. It's awful. Sister Sal, thank you for the 10 there. Love return. Appreciate you, Sister Sal, by the way. Thank you. Love to you all too. I know, that's one of the reasons we try to have a fun show because a lot of stuff goes on, a lot of lives, and we get to laugh at stupid people, it makes me feel better in my life always. DTG, thanks for the 10. In the past, when Jeremy Hales suggested people could be locked up over these cases, I saw his hyperbole. I'm not sure anymore. Indeed, someone better hope everything on these forms is accurate. Yes, indeed. I think, the protective order violations, how many times you get to kick the can down the road before you get in trouble? With harassment and stalking, they like to say he's a stalker and harasser, but they never stop on him, ever. So how long? They've tried to weaponize everything from governmental resources. They talk about the CPS thing, and yet we have seen them planning, and Shara has talked about it, where their plans, they wanted to get him arrested more. They're trying to weaponize again all these resources. So how are they not a conspiracy? How at a certain point, how do you not get yourself in problems? DTG, thanks for the 10. And oh yeah, I caught that. My bad. I thought I switched it over there, but you're right, DTG, for sure. Sister Sal, thanks for the 5 gifted memberships there. Thank you, Sister Sal. Much appreciated too. I love your Muppet there. It's cute. All of those. Yeah, I think as a parent, they hit me right in my now, I thought this was good too. Bear and M-Bear, thanks for the 10 there. Speaking as someone who's declared bankruptcy lawyers is paying absolutely no attention to paperwork. Paperwork is done without oversight. I tell you, I did a better job on my own. I ended up, way back when I had any money. So I ended up going over to I went over to the school, one of the colleges around. I knew some of the faculty out there, and I told them what I wanted to do. And I talked to some of the law professors that were attached to like MTSU, that they came in, they taught different classes, but they would go over and teach at one of the law universities in Tennessee. And they answered a few questions for me, helped with this or that, but I ended up doing a better job, I think. It's so bizarre. And again, I wouldn't care about a bankruptcy, but they made it part of this case. They told this is their thing. So it is part of it now. Becky, thanks for the 5. I believe all this garbage is a way, which one hand spit in the other. That's true. That's true. It feels like it, does it not? MS Coast Live. Thanks for the 2. John Cook is a Walmart greeter. Thinking through. Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. Actually, you don't like my hello. His shorts. He's gonna bounce you on his knee. Pickle Tink, thanks for the 5. Here in Florida, you cannot pay property taxes monthly. They over quarterly. That helps me out. Just about $300 quarterly. Yeah, their number, they're just, what they're trying to do is break up their expenses per month and to say, I pay X amount. Okay, so they're saying they pay $500, I guess, even, okay, even if they, half the property's theirs, right? So they're saying half the property belongs to them. So they're saying 600 for them, 600 for John, I suppose. But even then, it's lowballing, right? At $1,200, it's still coming in low. That's what I mean. But yeah, you're talking, 1,200. It's so weird. Yeah, and Shooting Star, that's a good point. Thanks for 9 months. Tug, the 56K pounds was roughly 76K. When exchange rate goes through, love to you both. Indeed, that's another thing I hope their donors remember. They call these people have been calling their donor a liar, by the way. That total that they were saying and that he was saying, they are now saying that actually wasn't the total. It was far less than that. So in order to protect themselves, they are calling him a liar. They just have to go after, if they say it's less, again, so they're trying to, they have to go after his reputation, his name, his word. All they have to do is damage him in order to say, we don't have to claim as much, therefore. So bizarre, isn't it? LZ, thanks for the 5. The new roof, 24,000. Man, hope outlaws. Indeed. I think about that. That's what I had to have plumbing. So I got a note on my door one day, and it said there was a leak. The water department was letting me know. So I checked inside, turned everything off, no leak. Had to be outside. I brought in, I can't remember, 3 or 4 different companies to check and see if they could isolate a place, right? And they're like, we can't tell you exactly where. We think maybe right here, but if you look at their contract, if they get it wrong, they dig up the wrong place, they replace something, all they'll do is claim, it was actually more than one leak or something, So I ended up having to get from the meter into the house replaced all the way. Oh, man, that sucked. Thousands of dollars. Between that and tree cutting, I had to cut back the trees around here that were hanging over my house because I didn't want an entire tree, falling in and crushing part of my home. God, the cost was exorbitant. Emma, thanks for the 5 there. Does HG not outgrow clothes? Well, that's a good question there. How do they not at least get her new thing? Shoes alone would be needed. Yes, indeed. For a kid, you would have closing expenses, My 2 daughters, I've got a daughter who's 5, and she grows like a weed. And she goes through eating spurts when she's growing too. So her eating costs do go up depending on those days, and it gets crazy sometimes. So, and by the way, Cheryl is in a 5 as well. Thank you, Cheryl. That is very nice of you. Send it through PayPal. I do not see a statement attached, but as I said many times, that in and of itself is a statement. What's up, Intimidator boy? What's up, my friend? How you doing, brother? I've seen you in a hot minute. Appreciate you, bro. You taking Megan? Hope y'all had a good 4th. I know my shirt smell like smoke, by the way. If you're American outside the bathroom, what are you? What are you when you're into it? European. That's true. That's true. Thank you for the joke, man. It's good to see you, man. I appreciate you, brother. Man, that's what was it, 2019? So, thanks. Jaguar, thanks for the 10. Breadsticks for Tug, for the lug and the bug. Thank you. That is much appreciated, too. I'm surprised I haven't had more raids today. I figured when the little ones started raids that we would have more. Check out some of these. I was playing with, give me 1 minute. I was playing with avatars yesterday. I just told it to make me, check this out. I told it to make me a few news related. Look, it made this one. I thought this one was kind of funny. So it has the avatar I have right now. It's like, lawyer brings case. This was, his clients are guilty. Okay. And it played with that a few more times and switcher. It has, then it did this one too. It was like, lawyer brings case. It's broken. The judge said, his clients are guilty. That's so funny. I love playing with the AI stuff on there. just to goof off. And now if I have something that I want done, I will pick up an artist. I believe artists should be supported. You know, it's taking them a lifetime to develop the skills, and it shows. You know, people like Dead Punk, when you see their ideas that they come up with, it shows. And their skill level. Again, you know, AI could not get the face design down to play with until someone like Dead Punk came along and designed something that it could mimic. So that shows you, again, the talent level there. I appreciate the heck out of Dead Punk. Good people, man. Wheat Toast, thanks for the gifted membership. Wheat Toast. I love that freaking avatar, or ma'am, whichever. I don't know which, but whichever, I love it. Sir or ma'am. Shooting Star, thank you. 5 gifted memberships there. Thank you, Shooting Star. I appreciate that. Man, I always, you know, I looked at your avatar there. When I was younger, I always thought, man, living out in somewhere like that, in a remote locale, that would be awesome. Nowadays, I think I would be too cold. Cheryl, thanks for the dyed buns. Lungworms. Indeed. I thought that was funny. For all, thanks to the 5. Doesn't hurt new. Oh, you're light to file bankruptcy and then drop it. It would delay the case. Yeah, that's another way you piss off a judge too. If you start filing and delaying, that wouldn't be good. So if they do that with no want to continue case, God, just delaying purposefully. Whew. But I think in their minds, they think that they're writing off the expenditures that are going to come down the road. Again, I have no idea how they think that's going to work out, but okay. You know, the legal minds, they keep telling you, you know, these things, they somehow happen. All right, we'll see. Em, thanks for the 23 months, by the way. I sent a PayPal. It's my first time doing it, and it did come through. It did. Thank you, Emma, by the way. I much appreciate that. It did indeed come through. I saw it there. Yes, I've gotten better about checking my phone, too. In the past, I used to not check my phone as much. But now I do. You know, and like I said, thank you. I have my chat pulled up on it, but I have to open up my email and look at the alerts. Cruise ship mama, things on a cruise ship. What's up? Every time I think about cruise ships, I think about their cruise ship they talked about. Thanks for the 5. Nowhere in the forum did she explain where the $6K income comes from. Well, she has a lot of income that doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Like again, she has more, or not income rather, but more costs than income that she's stating. Her expenditures, again, that car is insane. You know, I realize that people take out crazy loans, but that is $700. If you only get $900 a month, you don't need a car that costs you $700 of it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's nuts. Plus, if you're living on the government's dime, I realize you're going to have to, in the middle of nowhere, you're going to have a vehicle, obviously. The vehicle before so the 2 vehicles that I had before my Armada, you know, again, I did not buy a new Armada by any stretch of the imagination, but the 2 vehicles, I had a 1999 Jeep. My Jeep is, I rent it until it doesn't run. It might run still, but it has some trouble. I still keep it though. I love that thing. It will, if I have to turn it into a planter, it will. I got a 2005 Jeep. I bought it for $2,500. I found it used, obviously, because there's no way you're going to buy that. It was a 2005. I bought it 12 or 13, 15 years after the fact. I don't remember. It was a long time after the fact. But, you know, I got my use out of it. It didn't cost anything after the fact. You know, you're paying $734. If you can buy something that costs a few $1,000s, even if you got to maintain it, If you're spending $9,000 a year on a vehicle like that, and you're spending 80% of your noted revenue on it, and it's coming from benefits, there is something majorly wrong in that. Spin Doctor, thanks for the 10. With Fluticort, makes you feel better. You need to make sure you have, is it for adrenal insufficiency? Addison's, yes, indeed. I noticed that. You need a cortisone stim test, indeed. I wrote that in for it. I actually have been sent over for other testing, neurologist, and I don't know. I'm also being looked at for hiatal hernia as well, just to make sure there's nothing that's coming from it. But at least it's, I'm glad there's something working a little bit. I still have, again, I got this ringing that drives me nuts in my ear. It's always there, after a lot of activity. It doesn't even hear my, I feel like I don't get enough oxygen. You can hear me like I sound like I run out of it, so it gaps my speaking even further, but it's a lot better. RBF, thanks for the right doctor can make the difference. Yes, indeed. I'm happy to hear you're feeling better, Tuck. Thank you. I appreciate it. Indeed. I felt better. You know what made me feel better? A doctor that sat down and spent more than 7 fucking minutes talking to me about what had happened. A doctor that told me what was said on the paperwork. That again, I had a doctor tell me something after my procedure that they did not write on the paperwork. They wrote a different thing on the paperwork. And what they wrote on the paperwork scared me. So, yeah, that gets you there. Jamie, thanks for the 5. Timu, those Heart Rocks, $12, 30 of them. My nuts paid $45 for a few. Yes, indeed. Like some of the rock thing. Remember, they tell you that there's somehow magic rocks coming from the desert or some shit, right? And they actually, really? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? If you look online, you can find the same stuff for a fraction of the cost than what they're picking up. But the money that goes in there, I don't think it's just about that. I think it has a different purpose. If there are people that are financially invested, if they're making money, then they stay loyal and maybe a little more friendly to you. If you drop in a few $100 every now and then, maybe those people don't turn on them. So I don't know. Maybe. Sue, thanks for the 10. Tug, you're all right. You sound sick. Very mumbly. Not really mumbly there. But I definitely, the weather here, it is so hot that it definitely makes me, and so I have to clear my throat every now and then. But like I said, brain fog, it definitely is. It is wrecked. It has been a wrecking ball as of late. It's hard to grasp certain things. I have to think about it a lot more. And sometimes I just have to give up on it, but it's better. It's better. Bug Naked, thanks for the 2 there. They plan on their cruise being on a tugboat. The tugboat. Oh, no. Oh, no, indeed. All right. I'm at the end. I don't know who's live. I'm just going to end here. I apologize, but I'm going to end. I'm going to go kick my feet up and like I said, I am in the middle of a man change. So I'm like, bull, but do feel better. Appreciate you folks. And I will see you